The only people for me are the mad ones.
The world is filled with the boring and the barely conscious.
And misery loves company.
But we don't have to live this way.
Jessica and I are here to talk to those the system rejects, to radicals and thought criminals.
The ones who never yawn or say a commonplace thing, but push the boundaries of acceptable discourse.
Those who stare reality in the face and dare it to be different.
History isn't made by the timid, and fun is not had by the perpetually afraid.
We are the mad ones.
So let's get to it.
Welcome to the Mad Ones. I am your host, Brad Binkley, here with my co-host, Jessica Green. Cam took over Propaganda Report with Monica for a little while. So today I'm gonna be doing the same here on the Mad Ones. Jessica, how are you doing today?
I cannot complain, sir. How about yourself? I'm glad to see you.
After that intro, how could you not be fantastic? I'm happy to see you as well.
Yeah, he gets increasingly good at those as time goes on.
Very, very dramatic, and I was trying to pick out which one, if I'm rejected by society, or which I think is all of the above when it comes to the alt media that we're in. With whatever we say, people pigeonhole us into where we love Trump, we're Republican, we're conservative, simply because we disagree with them. And you know what? F them is what I say to that.
Yeah,
right
F them right in the A.
And today's a special show for you guys, is it not?
Yes, it is. It's our 100th episode.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have not been on for all 100 episodes. This is actually my maybe like 25th or so episode. I'm not really sure what the count is, but there is one driving creative force behind the Mad Ones, and he's the man behind the curtain right now.
Well,
but
for him, I'm drinking a beer for the first time. I can't remember the last time I had a beer, but I'm having one to celebrate for you guys for your 25th, for Cam's 100th. So I don't know, should we introduce Cam or should we just let him linger and lay in the weed for a little while? What do you think?
Well, the longer we leave him back there, the more he'll drink. So I think we should get him to the front as quickly as possible.
Yes. All right. So I guess we better bring him out. Let's welcome out the host of the Mad Ones along with Jessica, Cam. Cam, come on out, sir.
Hey, Cam Harless here.
Hey, Cam. You look different.
Yeah, it's the schmog.
It looks a bit schmoggy in there.
My wife said I drink too much, so I put this over my face.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so slow down the whiskey intake.
Yeah, filters though, right?
Not well. It tastes like used socks.
Has that been approved by Fauci, that mask you're wearing?
No, actually, it is definitely not approved by Fauci. In fact, he went so far as with the FAA to say you cannot wear a schmog by itself on an airplane.
Well, that's what a bigot.
What a cunt.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's the real Cam.
Yeah.
There he is. Who is this imposter?
I like your shirt, Pilar. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
It's
I ordered this on
like
Amazon, friends.
So we have been referring to Fauci as a big bowl of cigarettes ever since Binkley was on last time.
Well, he is. He sounds like every morning he gets up and he has a bowl of cigarettes for breakfast in the morning.
That's his kickback from Big Tobacco for previous work done.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah. So you know what Fauci's doing now? Have you guys seen this? So do you guys remember when there was video? This was in Georgia. This happened. So we would see these videos on social media of Oprah knocking on people's doors, and they'd open up. She's like, "Hey, I'm here to get you to sign up to make sure you're registered to go vote." This door-to-door canvassing. They would send the celebrities out to do it. Well, now Dr. Fauci is playing the role of Oprah, except instead of pushing the get registered to vote, he's going door to door, pushing the vaccine, literally trying to pull people out of their house to walk them down the street. And they're going to be doing a campaign to do this in areas where there's been a low level of vaccination. So Georgia's one of them. South Carolina's another. But what would you guys do if Dr. Fauci knocked on your door and said, "Come with me, I got a bowl of cigarettes and we're going to maybe go get the vaccine"?
I don't think I'm allowed to say that on YouTube.
Oh, there are so many possibilities if Fauci came to my door. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Have you guys seen that story of the guy in Spain who got arrested because he trained his dog to throw bricks at anybody who rang his doorbell? Like the dog would go up to the second floor terrace and he was a big dog. I guess he could grab a brick. And if somebody rang the doorbell, he would drop it. I mean, from the dog's perspective, it makes sense.
That's
right off the balcony. Yeah.
That's
so
a
good dog. And dogs notoriously hate doorbells. So I feel like the dog felt like this was a win-win situation.
Yeah, they do. They don't like doorbells and they don't have thumbs. So throwing brick, he's got to paw it with two of them, I think, and drop. This is a talented dog.
He would grab it with his mouth.
Oh, I see.
And then he would drop it. Yeah.
I want to teach my dog to sniff out COVID personally. And I just want to take him everywhere. And then whenever he sniffs somebody, I want to say, you got it. Stay away from me. Put your mask on. Because a COVID sniffing dog, you can't do anything about a COVID sniffing dog because everything COVID related is like you can go anywhere. As a COVID sniffing dog, you'll get praised. Fauci approved dog.
That'd be a fun reality show.
Yeah. I want to hear what Pilar would do if Fauci came to his front door.
We already have a great example of this in France. You slap him in the face.
What happened in France?
Where Macron was going through one of those handshake lines. And some dude just reached back and slapped him in the face.
Say what you will about the French.
His white face or black face was he?
I think he was in white face at the time. Yeah.
So here's the depressing part, Binkley. If you had listened to the Propaganda Report's Patron 15, you would have known this story because Monica and I talked about it. But now I know you didn't appreciate my work.
No,
so.
I did appreciate your work, Cam.
Well, say what you will about the French people. They know how to treat the civil authorities.
True.
Yeah, they know how to take to the streets. That's something that we're not necessarily. Well, some people are taking the streets here, but I think for all the wrong reasons.
Well, it's like Monica had said something about how political violence is never okay. And I was like, well, maybe a president needs to get slapped every now and then. I mean, in the very least.
Well, how about this? What if Fauci comes to the door? Knock, 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 knock. I'm here. You get the vaccine, you can slap me in the face.
Oh,
shit.
I might do it.
Might be worth it.
I might take one for the four of us.
Let's talk about the type of slap. Am I able to use any sort of weighted glove in this situation?
It's like you can use a weighted glove. You can get a bag of quarters in your hand. You can go backhand, forehand. You can have your dog drop a brick on my tiny head.
Sock full of doorknobs.
That would be.
I'm warming up to this idea.
Yeah.
I might get the jab after all.
Yeah. This has gone way beyond a slap. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have a price, apparently, for my jab.
Yeah.
We all do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can be induced.
I don't know if it's good enough.
Sure.
I don't know if it's good enough. I feel like I need something more. I need a little more. I want to find out a little more sugar on that donut.
God, she's like,
honestly, I think
with me.
Oh, no, sir.
So you need to look up that slap though, Binkley, because it was the most French slap I've ever seen in my entire life.
And what's like he did it from the wrist.
Yeah, he had
Did you know exactly what I mean?
He practiced. He had to practice.
The minute you said the French slap, I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's hope in the world.
Did he flinch?
Did you hear about
yes. The guy was hauled away immediately though. My understanding it's a misdemeanor, but still he's somewhere.
Yeah. He's under the jail somewhere.
He's with John McAfee possibly.
Maybe.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
I know.
Okay.
Cam.
I found the
Let me
video.
just go ahead and say this up front. This 100th episode is dedicated to John McAfee. He is the first guest I've ever had who has then gone on to die. So I feel like, it was only like 30 minutes to an hour that I got to speak to him. But as you can attest, talking to people, even online, you have some sort of connection, some rapport, some friendship that goes through the screen, through the wires. Mm-hmm. And it is almost like I lost a friend today. And for that super fun conversation I had, this show is dedicated to John McAfee, whether or not the state killed him.
He tweet last year that he's I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know him or what went on, but it's just it seems a bit strange, the whole thing.
Well, and he got a
It
tattoo.
definitely does, but it's hard for me to say that for sure he was killed by someone else, just because I've seen what they've done to Assange. You know, like if I was in that place where they'd be like, oh, well, we're going to throw him into an American jail, American prison in solitary confinement for years at a time, I'd be like, maybe death's a little better than that.
So, Pilar is saying he got a tattoo.
Yeah, and in the post when he said, "Hey, I would never do this," he showed a tattoo, and that's what that. Who's the guy that Tet and Allie don't like so much? That was,
you mean Ian Miles?
Yeah. So he's grifting on this tattoo. So he gets this tattoo. Posts, "Hey, I would never kill myself. If I do, something's up." And then this guy goes and tries to sell T-shirts with that tattoo today.
It made me so frustrated.
Yeah, over the top.
It made me so frustrated that I tweeted that Ian Miles Chungus is the modern day John McAfee, because I have no filter.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can definitely.
I made jokes at my dad's funeral, so it's like, who am I? What am I gonna do?
Yeah, so I saw a post that said his Instagram account put out the letter Q, just a big picture of the letter Q on his Instagram, supposedly the same hour that it was announced that he was deceased. So what do you guys make of that?
It was like an hour after he was deceased. Allegedly.
Right. Okay.
I can't make anything. I don't know what to make of that. Do you have any ideas, Brad? Because
that makes me think of this is a completely different type of character in our political world. It makes me think of Herman Cain. Do you guys know who Herman Cain is? I know you do, Jessica.
Of course.
Georgia,
Godfather Pizza.
Yeah. After he died, I think it was his Twitter account was like routinely tweeting, and it obviously wasn't him, but it was just kind of off-putting to people.
Yeah.
That these tweets are coming in this account, and I feel like there should be like a little bit of maybe an announcement, and then maybe a little bit of downtime from the social media accounts after someone passes away. Because people get
you think
confused.
It was an automatic?
I feel like it was probably something that somebody he knows tweeted, or some people have things that they write down and they want people to do when they die, and John McAfee seems like the type of guy who might be like, all right, it'd be really, really funny.
He had
really,
a
really interesting
switch.
So what?
He had a dead man switch. Do you know what a dead man switch is?
Mm-mm.
That's when, if someone dies, they have a plan in place as to what is released to the media, what's released across the world, etc. So a couple of years ago, he talked about how he was going to be talking about certain people in the CIA and people in the deep state, and that if he died or was suicided, that within 48 hours he had terabytes, or I don't know if it was gigabytes or terabytes of data about this that was going to be automatically released. So
that's interesting.
There's a chance that there's a dead man switch in play here, and we just haven't seen it yet.
Wow. No, that would be a development there, that they would try to suppress that. Like, I wonder what would happen if something like that does come out. It probably has in the past. I wonder because the media had such this network, this infrastructure that works to suppress things and silence things or discredit them. And I think at this point that it'd probably be so difficult to actually prevent something from coming out that the effort would have to be to discredit whatever it is that he released. Yeah. That's interesting. I want to follow that.
So there is an alleged dead man switch. So I mean, we gotta watch out for that. But Jessica sent me the slap on Macron. If you haven't seen this yet, we need to watch this. So let me get Chrome tab. This share audio. I'm gonna let you know I'm hitting all the right buttons. Okay, let's see.
You're doing a great job.
I try so hard. All right, here we go.
That's a pretty good slap, man.
He hit him. That was good. Yeah.
He put the
There was a
Francois
slow
on it.
motion version. Apparently, he had yelled something like the end of Macronia, Like I think it's a reaction to their COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So
You could hear the contact.
You did. That was solid contact. Definitely.
it was
I had to
solid
leave, like,
contact, but it was still like this though.
He didn't have a lot of. He couldn't get that elbow clear, man. He didn't have a lot of space to work with.
Yeah, he did have to
For
work
a-
in a tight
pulled him
quarters.
in.
For a cheese eating surrender monkey, he did okay.
I just wonder.
Cam had to have
Imagine
that
that
written
happening
down.
to Biden or somebody or Trump
Yeah.
even. I mean, I feel like the Secret Service would just they get like 40 bullets in them.
Yeah. You have to
among other things.
that would be if that happened, that would be a complete setup on the part of the press and the people who surround Biden, because that guy goes around with cue cards telling him where to stand, who to talk to. Yeah. So I think it would be incredibly hard to get somebody on the inside right now, especially everything that happened on January 6th. They've put guards and fences that are never going to come down all over the nation's capital. Like it used to be that you could go and have a picnic on the White House lawn with your family. And it, even in our time, that was no longer possible because of the fences they had up. So Washington is even more on lockdown than it's ever been. And that's never going to stop being the case.
Well, it's like in, I want to say probably 2014, 13. I went to Washington, D.C. with some friends, and I was able to drive past the White House and see the White House by driving past. And then last year when we moved from Pennsylvania to Florida, we tried to do that. You can't drive past the White House anymore.
No,
There's no
Really?
road
I can't
there
imagine.
anymore.
I
will
was
allow
reading
you.
how it has completely affected parents driving their kids to school, getting to work. They've had to reroute their paths and everything, and it takes much longer for them to get there. So real obstruction to the people that actually live there.
Hi.
What's up? We got John from Gen Gap joining us.
Yeah, I was not expecting this. Awesome.
What's up, John?
Just hanging out, man. I just got done with my little fiddle practice stream moments ago. So I saw the
So
link
you have
in
a stream
here.
where you practice playing the fiddle?
Correct. Yeah. How'd you
That's
know?
cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun.
Will you play us a little fiddle?
We got time.
I can. It's not very good, but I will. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I still want to hear some fiddle. Some
I
fiddling.
love the fiddle. It makes me think of The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
This is not unexpected with Cam and Jessica. You never know what's going to happen.
All right, it's
The
almost like
mad
I was ready.
ones.
Look at this. I mean, let me do. I did this on my stream too, but I'll do it here. In honor of John McAfee,
Cool.
I'll do a little Amazing Grace.
Well, let me get my fiddle so I can do it with you.
You fiddle also? Oh my god.
There might be a bit of a delay. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
We'll see.
I don't know what's happening.
Here's my
This impromptu fiddle stream now. I've taken over. Ha!
It's an AR.
Oh, is it? That's fun. I couldn't see
Oh,
it.
it's a freedom fiddle.
Oh,
That's
there-
right.
Yes.
That freedom fiddle is good.
Oh wait. See, I fucked it up already.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Wait, no. This is where he goes. Just repeat that. over and
Yeah.
over
Thank you for
again.
that.
Thank you.
That's
I have
awesome.
to tell you, the
That's
only
great,
way
man.
it would be harder right now is if that was a bagpipe.
Wow.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the only thing
Wow.
it's only sadder instrument than a fiddle or a violin, I guess. Would be
So does anyone here know the story? What's up?
19 minutes, first dick joke. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And you
Yeah.
you just slipped it in there. Just slid right in there too, and almost
was
pulled it
natural.
right out. Slid right in.
They do that. See, whether you want them to come or not, they're coming.
That's right.
Does anybody know the story of Robert the Bruce's heart?
I do.
About
Yeah.
wait, wasn't that
Cam
the
knows.
one
It's a good one.
oh sorry. Go ahead.
So no, go ahead.
Oh
Do you
no,
know it?
wasn't it someone brought it to Jerusalem? I think was what it was. Yeah.
So
I don't remember
he
everything.
So I did, like in the last episode with Maddie, I just very quickly told this story because I just think it's fascinating. And it was like, it felt like it just died in midair. And I was like, okay, well, and then Jessica apparently just like did research all week.
Nice.
And so,
I deep dived on this. And so first of all, we need to
tell us about
decide
that.
which one of us is going to carry John McAfee's heart to the Holy Land on a crusade. Because Robert the Bruce, when he died, it was his last. It was his intention to go on crusade, but because he had died, one of his men who respected him so much, yet was himself an atheist, wore the heart around his neck, taking it to the Holy Land, taking it to Jerusalem out of respect for his deceased friend. And he was noted even in his day for being pretty much, I don't know if atheist is right, but definitely anti-church. And so for him to undertake this was incredible. And so he's fighting with these fearsome Scottish knights in the Holy Land, taking the heart of Robert the Bruce to Jerusalem. And they're overwhelmed by Muslim soldiers. So he takes the heart off and he swings it around and he says, "Fight for the heart of your king." And he throws it into the battlefield. And they were overwhelmed. They were killed during that battle. But the idea of this man taking the last will of his friend to this extreme that he would throw the heart as close to Jerusalem as he could possibly get it is just such a powerful story to me. So when I heard that John McAfee had died today, I said, which one of us takes his heart to Jerusalem?
It's going to be Cam.
Yeah, and Cam was like, "I'll do it."
Man, they sure did things differently back then. Are you saying he had his physical heart?
His physical heart, they cut it out of his chest. They put it into a silver sarcophagus that was heart-sized, and then the guy wore it around his neck to carry it on crusade.
Good.
Can we talk about how hardcore the Scots were back in the day? Now they're essentially English, and that's horrible.
Oh, they're even worse. They're worse than the English now. Like they're absolutely cucked. They have no desire for any kind of freedom. Like it actually really pisses me off how bad the Scots are now.
I pissed off many of people on TikTok because I'm on TikTok because I'm hip. The other day because someone said something about Scotland, and I'd said, well, all the good Scots left a couple hundred years ago, and they did not like that at all. But so William Wallace, the baddest ass from Scotland. By the way, my family stems from the family Wallace. They weren't a clan; they were a family. But that's part of my DNA. He never had kids. His brother did. Maybe that's the connection. But so there's the Battle of Stirling Bridge, right? Mm-hmm. And so what they do, this is badly portrayed in Braveheart. But
God, don't even be started on Braveheart.
There's no bridge.
Right. There's no bridge in it. Right. So they essentially pulled a 300. So, the Spartans got all of the Persians to go through the small gap, and they just decimated them. The Scots did this and won. So they made them go across this bridge. And then so at the end of the bridge, there was this landmass. And so they funneled them through the bridge. And anyone who got past that point went into an area that was completely surrounded by Scottish knights and Scottish soldiers. And they just killed them. It said that William Wallace, at the end of this battle, took their commander, flayed him from the back of his neck to his butt, and made a belt out of his skin to hold his sword.
God dang.
Fucking metal,
did things different back then.
I'm saying.
Man, Mel Gibson is hardcore.
Seriously.
Dude, man.
I can't imagine that would smell nice.
Can you imagine seeing somebody
and
like seeing like your commander, he's over there just filleting somebody, and it's like, I don't know if I know what we got into here with this. He's wearing his skin as a belt. Wow. I was just trying to fight for freedom.
Yeah.
This is taking a turn.
Yeah. I used to work at a leather store, and that's the thing. Tanning leather is not for the faint of heart because it smells awful and it smells of death. Fun fact, the Native American method of tanning deer skin was they would take the skin, they would remove it from the animal, and they would put it in a stream. And so it would decay under the water, and as the stream rolled over it, it would actually take off all the excess gunk and grossness, and then they would have their deerskin. But tanning it is disgusting. But I imagine that English commander's skin after it was tanned smelled really nice. I mean, I smelled like a handbag coming home every day.
Yeah,
Wow.
you can. This is sort of, we're kind of going off on a tangent now, but you definitely can get like blood poisoning while you're tanning, because you get little cuts and nicks and stuff like that all over your hand. And my friend Frank, he had to go to the emergency room because he was tanning leather and got little nicks and cuts from doing it and got blood poisoning. So it's
That's
something
gross.
you have to be really careful while you're doing if anybody decides to take up making leather.
Can you make leather with human skin, or is that just a cowhide thing?
I don't.
Well, you
I'm gonna
can.
look that up right now.
I mean, probably.
Here's the thing. You can, because I know that there's a museum out there who collects tattoos of people and then tans them and keeps them forever and presents them as art pieces.
Okay.
I just realized that I should not Google, can you make leather from human skin?
That probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Right.
Oh, look,
I'm gonna-
That's funny.
Dave is here. He's the one
What's
who
up, Dave?
introduced me and Jessica.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
King TikTok.
Yeah, apparently.
Josh said that his wife saw Binkley and thought that we had Tom Hiddleston on the stream. So if I'm
there's
not
that.
sure,
There's that for you,
you're the
buddy.
god of mischief.
Yeah, we're brothers. I'm burdened with glorious purpose, right? Is that what he says in the show?
So-
And so we could do like a spoof on that, Cam, you and I.
So
We should.
Disney has started suing people who look too much like the character Loki or cosplay as the character Loki, and started sending them cease and desist letters for daring to
That's-
have gaunt features, long hair, and wear green.
Are you serious?
Disney is a bitch when it comes to copyright law. They will sue you
Man,
for
Fuck
anything.
Disney.
Yeah, that's right.
I want that to happen to me. I'm gonna start doing videos and pretend to be Loki, and I want to get sued by Disney. I would like make my year if that happened. That is fantastic.
We can do
Does
this.
that mean
Oh,
I
then
can
you-
get sued
then you
for
show up
dressing
in-
up as Mary Poppins?
So then you show up in court dressed as Loki.
Yeah, wear the whole, wear the
Like, no,
whole
I
get up,
am
green
Loki. What do you mean?
outfit,
I am
With
Loki.
the
Do you not
staff.
see this?
cube
Yeah.
and staff. They're sticking it into people.
Right.
Well, there are apparently people who still follow him as a religious figure. So it's running into problems with copywriting this term Loki. And then these people like follow him as a god. And Disney is trying to
Oh.
copyright their god, I guess.
Aren't they
That's
still in middle
fitting,
school
though.
though? Does that count?
Wait, what?
Aren't they still in
what
middle
PY?
school though? Oh,
They
go
still
ahead.
in middle
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, some of them are, yes.
When I worked at the leather store, I met several Norse heathens, which is a weird thing to run into because you don't think you're going to run into a Norse heathen. And so I have a tattoo on my arm here, and it's Paleo Hebrew. It's from the Aramaic period, and it says YHWH. The Tetragrammaton means Yahweh.
Huawei.
But the Norse, but the Norse pagans
Wawa.
would come in, and they don't know their religion enough to go, that's not Norse runes. And they all thought that I was a Norse pagan and kept inviting me and offering to fill my horn with mead all night if I joined their Norse church.
Ooh, that's pretty compelling.
That's a decent offer, man.
Yeah.
I'm
It
not
was a
gonna
good
look up
offer.
Fill My
You might
Horn
as well
with
hear
Mead
them
and
out
do
at
that.
least. I mean,
But here's the problem. I looked on their website and on their Facebook and looked at their members and the level of clothing that was there. And let me just say, I'm not into the Michelin Man. Never have been. Stay puffed, stay away from me. Like, it's just not what I'm into. So I don't want to see the naked fatties. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, skyclad.
yeah.
They go skyclad, do they? In the moonlight,
oh
very
my God.
reflective, naked adult males.
That's like a bar in
Frolicking.
Key West.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Key West on spring break.
Sounds
when I was
like a damn
in
good
college. I was like,
time
Let's
to
go
me.
to the nude bar. And the nude bar is not where you want to go. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
Because there's nothing but
never.
nude truckers in there.
Yeah, what give you a hint? Attractive people do not go to nude beaches
Yes,
or
you're
bars.
exactly
they
correct.
do not.
You got to learn that one the hard way, though.
I
yeah.
did. Unfortunately, it was way too hard in the middle of those two truckers sitting at the bar. It was not. It was too many hard things.
So it's like the nude beach that it's never anybody you would hope would be
Yeah.
at the nude beach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Why would
I
it be?
gotcha.
It's just
It's like life. You're always disappointed.
Yeah.
Hey, can I
Yeah,
steal the spotlight for a second?
You can.
I just want to, because I don't have that much time before I got to go back to work because technically I'm working. But I did want to, one, thank y'all for letting me come on. And two, I wanted to congratulate Cam and Jesse on their 100th episode. I'm proud of you two. I'm proud of you two youngins. And then,
Thanks, Uncle Dave.
and then, of course, I wanted to. I couldn't be more happy that Jessica got on board with Cam. I mean, she is the goddess of the cock aperture and the watercolor paintings. And then, and Binkley, I'm always a big fan. And since I know that you are a fan of No Agenda, correct?
I am. Yeah, I do. I like them.
Have you heard the latest episode about what is happening in Australia with the COVID tracing app?
I had it on in the background, and I vaguely remember that, but I don't remember the specifics of it. What was it?
I know the government came out and said that if you downloaded this app, it's to help people. It's supposed to be for contact tracing.
Mhm.
And that was it. That was all. And the information was only going to stay on the servers for a couple of days. Then it was going to go away. But the police have started arresting people like criminals that they are looking for based on the contact tracing app. So they're using the information. And the people are just, I was like, bro, that's why you need firearms.
Yeah, I do remember hearing that. Now that you say that,
Fiddle.
the guy was talking about how this was only supposed to be for this, and now you're
Freedom
now.
Fiddle.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Freedom Fiddle. I like that a lot. I'm stealing that.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
the official
they do these
name of
things and
Cam's
they
gun.
backdoor things in. It's like they say it's for one purpose, and they stretch the parameters of it, and then all of a sudden they're using it for something completely different.
Mhm.
I mean, thank God we live in America where our government actually cares about us. And
That's true.
all the time.
That is
They have our
true.
best interest at heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Benevolent.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So, David, I know you have to go, but I do need to ask you my favorite question, and I'll
Go
ask it
ahead.
for both of us because it makes Jessica so uncomfortable.
Oh, come on, man.
What's your favorite thing about Jessica? Follow up, me.
All right. And I've thought about this question a lot because I listen to you two people. And I would say, Jessica, my favorite thing about Jessica is the fact that she's always more than willing to help out. I mean, I wanted her on the show one time to talk about the Soviet Union of Russia, of anything, Russia. And she didn't even hesitate. Anytime I've ever asked her to be on the show, she was there. So I've always been a big fan of Jessica. I mean, I think I ran across her because of Jesse and Maddie, if I'm not mistaken. And I heard her talking, and she was just like so full of like information. I was like, okay, I gotta get her on. I don't know about what, but I gotta get her on about something. So
Pretty much just the Russian and French revolutions. That's the only thing I know anything about. So you just happened to pick the one topic I know something about, but that's it.
and then of course
Great
she came to the ladies' night, which was a blessing. I love that. So I mean, and the fact that she adds so much to the network. I mean, it's like I think it was Maddie was saying the other day. She was like that person that needed to be in the network that we didn't know that needed to be in the network, but is now in the network, and we were far better off. So I'm happy you're aboard. And
Thank you very much.
I am a fan. And I just wish we still had the old page before freaking Zuck fucked that all up for everybody.
Yeah,
But-
they took us down for saying a thing that's now common to say.
Isn't that some
Facebook?
bullshit?
What was it?
That go ahead, Cam. You know this better than I do.
Well, they took us down literally on our 4-year anniversary. And it was because people were floating the idea that the coronavirus came out of a lab leak. That was it. That was
Yeah,
most
so
of
that's
what
why
they
took
flagged
you
us
guys
for.
down?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just jerked it right in front of our feet. Freaking
It's just unbelievable. They
It's
yeah.
hilarious.
twat
They did something
waffle.
similar to my video Monica and I had up. Is it was about, she was talking about that cop from, it was a cop in Florida that was involved in Sheriff Israel was his name, involved in one of those shootings. And you know, when you look up Sheriff Israel, you find that he's involved in a bunch of weird shit. And he's not, and he's like a corrupt guy, obviously, like the most corrupt person you've ever seen in your life. And Monica knew all
You'd think
this
he was
already.
from Georgia.
Do what? Sheriff Israel?
That's fair.
I said you'd think he was a
Right.
a
Yeah. You
deputy
think
from
he was
Israel.
in Milledgeville, Georgia, maybe, where I went to
Georgia,
college.
not Israel.
Yeah. No, his name is Sheriff Israel. And
Right.
so she does the show on him and she exposes all the stuff about him, and it's all true. And it was just too early. And then the video got a strike and it got taken down from YouTube. And then like 2 weeks later, Jake Tapper is interviewing Sheriff Israel and he's questioning him on all of these things. And suddenly all of the stuff comes out into public, and everything she had said 2 weeks ago is now mainstream, but she had had a video removed and a strike given to her because she did it too early.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Can't let Monica Perez scoop the national media, right?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy.
I love that woman, by the way. She's freaking awesome.
She is.
Yeah, we love Monica. We hate Sean Astin, and we love Monica Perez. That's how it rolls on this show.
Fuck Sean Astin. I'm going to need everyone before they leave to say that sentence. That's all I need. It's a very short sentence.
Yeah.
Who is Sean Astin again?
He's a freaking cunt biscuit.
He's a cunt biscuit. He played Samwise Gamgee on Lord of the Rings. He was the second Hobbit.
Rudy?
He was also Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy.
Correct.
Yeah, fuck Sean Astin. Yeah, he was his character was a pussy in 24, so fuck Sean Astin.
Yeah.
He also crashed Cam's motorcycle, and we're very upset about it.
Yeah,
still.
you told that story. I remember that.
Wait, what was this? I missed
Cameron?
it.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, in probably about 7 or 8 years ago, I was asked to be a featured extra on a film. In this film, I was supposed to be a biker. Long hair, beard, rides a motorcycle. I just looked the part.
You got it.
I get on set. I meet Sean Astin. He's very nice. I'm very impressed by how down to earth he is. And he's like, hey, man, I really like your bike. The Harley people taught me how to ride a bike, and I'm insured to ride a motorcycle. Can I take yours around the parking lot? And dumbass me goes, oh, well, it's fucking Samwise Gamgee. Of course you can.
Naturally.
And so this guy gets on my motorcycle, takes my helmet, and is riding around the parking lot. He's doing fine, but he doesn't get off of the bike in time for me to get to set and actually be a featured extra in this movie. And when I come, I had to ride bitch with some person I didn't know, some old dude, and I had to hug some fat guy. And I ride to the set, and then my friend who was a PA on the set, he goes, hey, Sean Astin dropped your motorcycle.
Oh.
And I said, what? And he was like, yeah, he's very apologetic. He's like, if you want to leave and take it, you can. I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And he's like, he's very apologetic. He wants to give you his keys, your keys back. And I was like, oh, he's going to say he's sorry. I had just put some new things on it that were now, when I found out, were now scuffed up, like brand new stuff I'd put on. I pull up. Sean Astin standing, he's in his trailer, and I walk up to his trailer. He comes out. He hands me my keys, and he goes, I have a question for you. And I was like, what? He was like, let's say you're riding a motorcycle. And I was like, this isn't I'm sorry. This isn't I dropped your bike. He says, say you're sitting on a motorcycle and you come to a stop. What do you do to make sure it doesn't fall over and hit the ground? And I said, you put your feet on the ground.
Oh, that's the problem.
So you never ride a bicycle?
That's
I
crazy.
don't know.
That's why you got training wheels, bro.
For
He's only
real.
3'7". He's not tall enough to reach the ground.
And so he asks me that question, says, hey, thanks for letting me ride your bike. Goes back into his trailer.
So
Dick.
very
Son of a
apologetic.
bitch.
Yeah, total cunt biscuit. You're right. There's the
I
right
hate
word
Sean
for it.
Astin.
Yeah,
I
fuck
love Lord of the Rings so much. I love it so much, guys.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't a fan of Samwise as a character, so I mean, fuck Sean Astin and Samwise Gamgee, I guess.
I wish you would have like moved around and tried to challenge him to sack you, just to see if he could do
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Come at
he
me.
can't. You know he wouldn't have been able to do it.
Oh, but I do got to talk about my favorite thing about Cam before I leave.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My favorite thing about Cam is one, he's always there. I mean, if you need something, a while back, I don't know who started it, but I have a feeling Cam had a huge hand in it. Whenever I took on 3 little foster kids, the group sent and I've always been grateful for this. They sent a ton of stuff. I mean, gift cards, stuffed animals, clothes, stuff like that for the 3 little ones that we had. And so that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And it's just he's anytime I need something, I reach out and I'm like, yo, Cam, you got this? And he's like, yeah, I got you. And it may take him a while because he's kind of busy with his little village of kids, but I mean, he's always there. And I mean, so he's just a good person. I mean, all the way around. And I'm not talking bullshit. And most of the time I talk a bunch of shit, but I mean, right now I'm being serious and heartfelt. Damn it! So shut up and let me do this shit.
So mushy and gay in here.
Yeah, how dare you show vulnerability?
Okay, let's do it. That's great. No, that's very sweet. That's cool.
Hey, I'll give
That's
you that $20
That's a great
later.
compliment, man.
Yeah.
I'll give you that 20
Yeah.
later. Venmo?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
But yeah, and so I mean, it's like I said, I couldn't ask for a better group of people to be associated with. So that's I'm always happy about that. I may not show up very often. Like my own show's been kind of slacking here lately, but that and I enjoy Cam's TikTok page. That right there is gold.
I didn't know
My
you had a
TikTok
TikTok page, man.
My
Yes.
TikTok page is almost fully reactions to Dave's TikToks.
I love that.
I love that
That's
there's
great.
like a Chinese like information agent who has to sit there and watch all of those TikToks.
Hell
All
yeah.
day, yeah. You know who
Oh,
else?
yeah.
So I told you about Fauci going door to door to getting people the vaccine. He's also going on TikTok and doing TikTok videos with
Dude, they're taking over
influencers.
TikTok bad.
Yeah.
Oh, can I
It's
tell
me,
you?
Fauci on
the-
TikTok.
I gained over 3,000 followers on TikTok within like 48 hours from responding to one of David's TikToks where I did. So there's this trend where you take this thing that morphs your face into someone else's and you
Why's everybody
preload someone
froze?
in and you pretend that it's like saying this is who you look like as a celebrity. And
Mhm.
I jokingly put Sean Astin in because I think that's funny. And people who don't know the inside joke thought it was hilarious for some reason. And I got like 3,500 followers off it. I can go live on TikTok. I get 3-minute videos. I'm like legit.
Hell
And
yeah,
you didn't
man.
even have to show feet. That's so amazing.
Oh no, he also
doing that
showed
this
feet.
episode?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
He also showed feet.
Yeah,
Okay.
he also had
World
feet,
class
yeah.
feet.
That makes sense to me.
That's what got
Now
me.
we understand.
That's my favorite thing about Cam.
Those
Yeah.
I
sweet
only
Furry
have beautiful
toes.
fingers
feet.
on now.
Cam, I have somebody who is going to be in a Netflix show that is dropping tomorrow. Is going to be a part of it that that we can bring into the stream. Jessica actually knows him. I'm going to send him the link if that's okay. I don't know
Yeah.
Go for it.
how soon it will be, but I'll go ahead and send it to him. I'm giving him a heads up. I think he's watching.
Bob Wood.
Yes, Bob Wood.
Awesome.
Or Prepper Bob, as some people who listen
Prepper
to
Bob.
Propaganda Report
Okay.
know him. So I'll send
Yeah.
him the link, and I will tell him to join when he's ready.
Hey,
Bob
I wanted to
ran-
go. I got to go, but I wanted to tell everybody. I don't know what happened. Everybody froze up and I had this as my poop face. So I don't know what the hell that was.
Nice.
But anyway, I appreciate y'all letting me on. And as always, I'll talk to y'all later.
See you later,
Thanks,
man.
Dave.
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
It's not like Allahu Akbar. You can't just like throw it on there like it's a greeting.
I'm going to though. That is the new thing. Welcome to the show, fuck Sean Astin.
Love that Sean Ashton story.
And
It
peace be
sounds to
unto
me like
you.
his 24 character is more like his real life character based on that story.
I know that this isn't the most deep material, but can we talk about how much I loved 24 before I found Ron Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that was like a
Because-
dream thing because they were saving the country and you loved America?
Well, I just loved watching him torture people.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I was about to say. That's the
nice.
best part. He's like, who are you working with?
Give me a hacksaw.
And they, every single time, what they do in 24 is like, all right, let's maximize the conflict and see who can Jack Bauer torture that's going to just fuck up the rest of his life. Okay, he can torture his ex-wife's new husband. That's perfect. Or so it's always somebody he's really close to, somebody who they're close to.
Wow.
All right, so what can he do next? He can chop his future son-in-law's hand off. That's possible. Like, everything is just great. That's what's great.
24 is a more
My-
wild show that I counted on.
My favorite thing was the time he didn't torture someone with a hacksaw or with anything like that. He grabs a towel and he goes, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this towel and I'm going to shove it down your throat.
Yeah,
It's going to go into your stomach and it's going to start dissolving and it's going to attach to the inside of your stomach. And then I'm going to rip it out of your mouth and it's going to come with the lining of your stomach and you'll bleed to death slowly." And I'm just like, hell yeah, Jack Bauer. And then Ron Paul's like, no, we shouldn't kill people in other countries. And I was like, you're right.
Oh, yeah. My friend and I
God,
went
John's
one
back.
year.
Hi, John.
We went as Tony
Sorry.
Almeida and Jack Bauer for Halloween. So he was Jack Bauer. And I was Jack. Come on, Jack. There's Bob. There he is.
Hi, Bob.
This is
Hey,
Bob.
Bob.
Bob is
Hey.
Bob the
Can you
Prepper.
hear
Bob Wood, relapse theater fame, and he's got a Netflix documentary that he's appearing in coming out
What?
tomorrow.
Tell us
Tell me
about that.
Well, it's actually a YouTube documentary.
Oh, I thought it was
With
Netflix.
a little bit more elite. Yeah, it's no, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? No, we
I
do
could've
have a
sworn I
Netflix-
saw it was
there
on
is a
Netflix.
Netflix special with the same guy. Well, so the same guy that did the documentary, it also has a
Yeah. Roy
Netflix
Scovel.
special that I'm also in. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
but
yeah.
this- yeah. So he did 6 nights of improvised stand-up. He's like a unicorn, and so they chronicled it and edited it together, and put some music behind it, and then during that they also interviewed me about the theater and all the stuff. It's going to be pretty cool. Tomorrow night, Roy Scovel official fan page on YouTube at 8 p.m.
That'll be
Nice.
awesome, man.
Cool.
Yeah, Roy's got a huge following.
So I got to go.
Yeah. Now you'll see. Like, seriously, you will see a
Yeah, he's got a
fantastic
new show
story.
on Apple TV.
Yeah. He's badass, man. He performed with us once with Astronaut University. At one
Yeah,
time.
he's my favorite. He's my favorite comic in all the years of working with comedians. He's number one.
Why don't
cool.
you marry him then,
I-
Bob?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
we can
Yes.
hear you.
Yeah, I know Bob from my very early 20s. He ran the comedy club that I used to haunt on the weekends. So it's probably been 10 or more years since I've seen you,
Yeah.
and you look good, Bob.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
Thank you. I got the
Well,
white
let me
beard
ask-
thing going on. I'm a grandpa now, so yeah.
it's distinguished.
That's
You're a
crazy that
grandfather?
you're a grandpa. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
I am.
Congratulations.
I've got a 1.5-year-old granddaughter. It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Thank you.
Time has flown.
Bob
So what
also
do you-
used to watch 24
what do you-
with us too, as well.
It's really
We
weird.
were talking 24 before you popped in, so I was just
Yeah,
connecting.
yeah.
the
Well, I
dots
had to because I wanted to be able.
there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I literally because I wanted to be friends with you and Josh, and if I didn't watch the whole series, I could never understand anything you were saying. So
Yeah, we used
Yeah,
to
I
walk
got
around
into
the
it,
theater doing lines
out
all
of
the
my
time.
love for you two.
Yeah, it was great. Jack Bauer threw a woman out a window once. It
Yeah,
was hilarious.
well, lines from the movie.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah.
So you said that you used to haunt this place, and I want to know: is anyone on the feed right now? Does anyone have a ghost story?
Well,
I would imagine being in that old church that y'all have some ghost stories.
so in this church, and Bob, you'll be able to fill in details better than me on this, but so you got the place. It used to be an old church, and it was kind of dilapidated, still a little dilapidated. But it's been built up a little bit. But there was this little tiny room, kind of in the back side of the building, and the ceiling is very, very low. And you open up the door, and you go into this little room. You got to duck in there, and inside this tiny little dark room is a tiny little plastic chair for a child to sit in.
Ooh, that's always scary.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people saw ghosts in that place. At least they claimed to have seen ghosts in Relapse.
The same ghost?
Some people, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no. For years, people always said, and it was always the same area that they said they saw it at.
Yeah.
But I lived in there, so ain't no ghost but the Holy Ghost, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't scared. Never bothered me.
It might have just been one of the.
Always, but yes, it was literally the same.
Oh, go ahead.
Can you hear us?
Is my audio messing up here?
Oh, we hear you better
No.
now. Now we hear you better. Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We hear you very
I'm
well.
gonna take this ear thing out. Oh, that seems to stop. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I think there's just a delay.
I think it's the CIA, dude. Bob's a prepper too,
Probably.
for those watching, so they're probably after him.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking. So there's. That means that
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wondering trying to figure out which two it is.
We're losing you a little bit. If you took your
Yeah,
earphones
we're losing
out,
you,
we're
Bob.
losing you a little bit.
Unfortunately. Yeah, but I would always hear crazy ghost stories coming out of Relapse.
Try to move her.
Yeah, there's that
That's
the
his poop
hallway.
face.
Yeah, it's
now
a
we
great
see
one,
you.
actually.
Yeah, it's much better.
Very joyous poop face.
That's why I wear the schmog, is so that you guys can't get a poop
if
face.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, call back in. Call back in with us.
Just Pilar, when your eyes get very wide, that's just what I assume your poop face will look like.
Yeah, I want to make
Just a
sure Cam
surprise.
doesn't. I don't want Cam to get any stills out of this appearance.
That's no facial recognition AI technology is going to get you. But they did. There was a lot
I have a
in that-
still.
Oh, you got one?
You want to see Monica's poop face?
That's weird, but yeah, actually.
So you've got this leads me to believe you have a folder on your computer
Yeah, so
with
it's-
everyone's poop.
It's
Pilar,
P. It's under P. Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
You scroll
I
past
get-
F, where the feet are, and you get to the P's, and that's his poop face directory. Yeah.
God,
Well, if I don't keep the poop faces, who will?
it's true.
The NSA
Someone needs
has
to
them.
keep a
Yeah,
record.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
When we were doing the show, when Binkley was out, I grabbed this wonderful poop face from Monica. Let's see if I can pull this up.
Oh, man, I hope she sees this.
Now
She
you'll
looks
be happy about it.
concerned about it.
Yeah, she looks suspicious of why are you taking a screenshot face is what that looks like.
You can tell she was very unhappy with her internet at that moment. But it makes for the perfect poop face.
That is crazy. With podcasting, everybody learning the remote, interviews and stuff just to see all that. And they played it out I feel like they were pretending in the mainstream media when they would have these flubs because they had crews getting paid lots of money with giant big cameras and the best internet. I feel like they were setting it up to where they had flubs on purpose so that it could people that watching could identify with them. I don't even think it was real when they messed up. Yeah. There he is.
I'm in there.
You sound
Hey,
better.
Bob.
All right.
Whoa.
I got my wife's phone, so maybe that was it.
Nice.
Yeah, your phone
Seems
sucks,
crisp.
dude.
We had parkour Bob there for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bob is very, very talented director, improviser, entrepreneur, prepper, has a lot of skills. And we were talking Ghost before, and there's a lot of people that had a lot of experiences in relapse theater, and it's a spooky place at times.
You know, I never got that vibe. That's the thing. People would say that, but I tell you, I've never had anything but just excellent vibes in there.
Oh, me too. I loved it. But yeah, it was just like it feels like home when you go to it.
Yeah, I mean it's but probably, I don't know, maybe 50 people over the years told me that they saw a ghost.
Tell them the story of the kid, the chair.
Yeah,
like why it was there.
Well, so we were playing hide and seek. That was one of my favorite things to do. Still love to do it with adults. And so we have this 20,000 square foot old church. And so we're someone had removed a vent from the wall, is what it was. There was a vent cover on it. And when you go inside it, there's these kids that written all this weird stuff all over the wall, and like there's like feathers glued to the wall. And little bitty kid chairs were in there. And actually, once you went into there was actually another room off of that, a little closet. It was only, about a foot deep or whatever, but there was actually it was little. You had to get on your hands, you had to get on your belly and crawl underneath this hole that we found.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of it was spooky.
What and didn't they do? What did they do there before? Wasn't it something like related to kids? Like, what was the church in the years before you got it?
So it was it was like a shelter. So they took in wayward homeless people, and the soup kitchen, and but the pastor, I believe, had upwards of maybe like 13 children. He's a good man too, though, by the way. He was
prolific.
Yeah. So they converted it for all these. So over the years, this makes 17 years. There's still weird places in there where you find seen yet,
Yeah, it's a landmark in Atlanta to go to for those who are in it when it's open, and when it's I think it's open now. Is it open now?
No, but it's legal, and so it'll be open soon.
Yeah. So you should go there when it's open, because it is seriously one of the coolest experiences you will have on the planet. And that is not, I'm not exaggerating. You won't find another place like it. And that is why people like Rory and other comedians used to come there and do free mainstream headline comedians would come to Relapse and do free 1 a.m. shows there. When, they go to other comedy clubs, they're told to do the same set list, everything they do all the time. They come to Relapse. Bob didn't care. Bob, he's cool, and they get to go up and they get to have fun, experiment. It's just a cool vibe, and it's probably the coolest place you'll find.
Well, the key was we treated those people the exact same way we would treat somebody who just walked off the street and said, "Hey, I think I want to try to do comedy."
Yeah,
that's always the key. And it's so funny doing that for a lot of people who had no idea. They're like, "Hey, I just showed up, and I don't even know that I want to do comedy," I was just watching yesterday. There's a guy on Comedy Central, and I was like, I remember when he showed up there on accident one night on a Monday, and he was like, "What do you guys do here?" And I was like, "Comedy." And he goes, "That sounds cool," And now he's,
That's cool, man.
Now he's making
Frog Pie came one day. Jessica brought Frog Pie one day.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I owe you an apology for that.
No, I'm kidding.
Frog Pie was a weird guy, and
God bless. But that was
you.
That was you, Jessica, that brought him.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about him. I just told him about this fun place that I met a guy, and I told him about this fun place that I hang out at the weekends. And he's like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And then he showed up there, and I heard some stories. I am the responsible party for Frog Pie, though, and thusly I apologize.
Right. Listen, he kept saying, "I want to help you," and I said, "Well, there's some graffiti down in the girls' bathroom that I keep painting over, and it keeps bleeding through. So if you wouldn't mind, just go down there and hit it with another coat of paint." And so he came back like 3 hours later, and he's sweating. And he's like, "You're gonna love this." And as soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh my God,
that's not good."
No. So I went down to the bathroom, and not only did he paint the area I asked him to, but he also painted the sink and the toilet and the floor and a painting that I had from a friend of mine hanging on the wall in there. He painted the mirror. He painted the entire bathroom in latex.
He painted the mirror?
He painted everything.
Did he spell words with it?
Yeah, and then he spelled words on it on the floor and stuff.
He spelled wet paint, right?
That's fine. I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, cool. Just you know,
It was hilarious. I mean, it was
Oh my
really,
God.
it was frustrating, but it was just really funny. Yeah. I went to college with him. I remember the first time I went to college with this guy.
Okay.
My freshman year of college, he was acting like a dinosaur, and he wrote, "I am sofa king retard id" on the board, and the teacher came in and read it, and I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious, great." That's
no, I had
great.
we had good times. We had good times.
Yeah, it was fun.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but
So sorry for the audience to giving you reminiscence that you're probably unaware of, but
Yeah, about frog pie. This is now a frog pie pack. God, I bring frog pie everywhere I go. I don't mean to do this. I'm sorry.
I was having a conversation with someone I will leave unnamed for their safety, but I used to do improv in college, and I was talking to this person about how much I love doing it, and she said, "But improv isn't funny." And I said, "I can't argue with you. It's a hell of a lot of fun to do." It's like improv is for people who love comedy less than people who just want to see something funny.
Right.
well, so I had this thought on it. People are like, "Hey, we want to do this act. It's a female comic. It's an urban comic, or even to say improv comedy." I think any descriptor that comes before comedy, I don't want to see it myself. I've seen so much garbage improv in my life. For real.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been doing it for over 25 years now, and I still love it. I'm a nerd and I love it. But no, my show's funny, man.
Trey's in the show. Trey and Lisa do.
Well, so here's the thing. Listen, so improv. That person's right. Improv is great for thinking about. It helps your brain grow. It's great for rehearsals. It's great for discussions. But once, even the same stage that you're doing improv, the moment one audience member walks in, you're no longer doing the art form of improv. Now it's the art form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Because how do you know if comedy's good?
Laughter.
Yeah.
You laugh.
Right. Yeah.
You see those shows where people clap because they agree with you.
Yeah.
That's
Fuck that.
garbage.
Like Stephen Colbert, the audience directed everything's about
Hannah
the
Gadsby?
scenes and yeah. Who?
Like there are these people who do comedy, but it's literally just boring social commentary. And I'm
It
like,
really, it's terrible. And Bob, I don't know if you remember. Do you guys remember the girl who got famous on TikTok and then she ended up hosting a bunch of late night shows for a little while? For all she did was she did TikTok videos where she played audio of Trump and then she just lip synced the audio. Her name's Sarah Cooper. And she just lip synced it and did weird things with her fingers. And all of a sudden, this woman is just the most famous person on the planet for like a month. This is like a year ago this happened. And she's hosting, she was hosting Kimmel show for a day, Fallon show for a day. They even, on the year anniversary of her first TikTok video, again, all she does is play audio of Trump and she just lip syncs it and does weird body motions. And she became the most famous person on the planet. She was an actress in Atlanta for a little while. Yeah. No. Well, her husband is a Google infrastructure engineer, and so there's a little bit of insight into how you might be able to work that. And I started looking into her husband and other stuff, and I was like, man, this is a chick that even probably at the time, because she came to Relapse a few times. I auditioned with her a number of times for commercials where you audition once and they pair you with people, and I auditioned with her a couple of times, and she did stand up a couple of times at Relapse because I remember because I was hosting the show, and then I didn't see her, and then she popped up on Twitter one time and she's followed by Barack Obama and all this other stuff. I'm like, is that girl that was at Relapse for a while? And it was. And then like a year later, she's for like 3 weeks the most famous person because of these weird TikTok videos. And I'm just like, it's so strange how quickly this stuff happens. And she got a Netflix special for like 2 or 3 episodes or something maybe, and it's just, and all she did from like 2016 on social media and this stuff was just push mainstream propaganda in everything that she said, and it was crazy. I don't know, I guess her husband knows people or maybe she knew people. Good for her and her success. Don't like the propaganda bullshit, but it's crazy how quickly people emerge as these social media stars, especially when they're speaking the right agenda.
Well, listen, that's what I've learned in my old age now is that, because I what was it I was reading? Like Governor DeSantis is like 3 years younger than me,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a trip.
Who were kids, to me. And but that's when I realized, I was like, it's not just me. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Nobody does. Everybody's just winging it. And
Right.
I don't know.
Well, not to, denigrate another female here, but like Amy Schumer is only a comic because of who her father is. There's nothing about that woman or the jokes that she tells that constitute anything comedic. I've never laughed at anything she's ever done. It's just like sitting there painfully cringing. Like, why are you on the screen? Oh, that's right. Your dad is Chuck Schumer. And that's
about a vagina all the time.
Wait a second, who's her
It's
dad?
her uncle. Her uncle is
Amy
Chuck Schumer.
Oh, is it her uncle? I thought it was her dad. Yeah. I mean, they're clearly connected. That's the only way that person gets to have that many.
But think about this.
And they both talk out of their vagina.
But
my favorite thing about Amy Schumer is how every joke is, my vagina is gross. Right.
Yep.
Thanks for telling me.
Just period commercials.
Listen, I tell you though, as a comic, I have to jump in because it's hard work, man, and she's doing it. She's living the dream. So God bless her. She did a movie called I Feel Pretty, and she got my friend who plays the lead in that the job, which really helped.
Okay.
Yeah, it really helped propel his career or whatever. And he speaks very highly of her. I don't know her person. That's the thing. When we talk about famous comedians, I might know them. And so I can't be a part.
Well, I don't want to get you in any trouble. This is just a personal opinion. Yeah.
Here's a funny thing, too. Dave Chappelle said this. I thought it was the funniest thing. They asked him what kind of comedy he likes. He's like, I don't like watching other people's comedy. Because I love comedy so much, watching other people do it is like watching somebody fuck my wife.
Oh, shit.
And so, look, that's kind of been my thing with comedy too. People that come to my show, they'll be like, "Oh, you got to book this guy." They're like, "He's wildly famous," and I'm like, "I should know. I run a comedy club, but I'll book anybody, and I just like doing my show." I just want to do my show in comedy. I don't want to do other people's shows, so I don't know enough about it, but. I just know that it's hard work and people that travel and so God bless her. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Fair enough.
How do you feel about Sean Astin?
I heard that part earlier.
Yeah. We're Sean Astin Hate Podcast.
Here's what I say about that. You ready? Sean, if you're out there, I'd love to be in a movie. If you could help me out in any way.
Also, fuck
Enemy at the gates.
And go fuck yourself.
There we go.
There he is. There he is.
That's how we started talking about 24 is because he seems like the 24 character where he just rats everybody out.
I've never seen 24, but apparently this guy takes it out on his family. All his anti-terrorism on his family.
He doesn't want to, but he has to. That's the thing. Jack Bauer always has to do what he does. He doesn't want to torture his ex-wife's new husband, but he has to know the information. He has to.
Yeah.
Even though she kind of looks like an ugly dude. That doesn't matter.
She does a little bit. His daughter, though, who's like 5 years younger than him, is pretty hot.
But is she funny?
No.
No. Wow.
She's a woman, Jessica.
Wait,
so
women
she's not
are
funny like a man.
I think there's some chicks that are very funny. I will say that. There's that stereotype with that. But my experiences with improv is this. You should have chicks in your group because they're better looking than dudes, and they are funny.
Comedy sport. People are like, why aren't there more women in comedy? It's like, well, they could be. They just don't show up. But when you find a female comic, a funny female comic, if they're funny, they're probably funnier than everybody. I mean, I know here in Atlanta, we've got some powerhouse women that who was it? Who's the guy from Saturday Night Live? The young guy.
Pete Davidson?
Yeah. He came and did a show. And we had a host and a local that was going to do Sam Severin. And they were like, well, we're not going to let any locals get up. And we were like, we already have a crew for her because she needs to shoot something for a reel. And so we had to force them to, it was a bad night for that. But
Wait, Pete Davidson weren't going to let the locals get up?
yeah, it was. But anyway, I could say more, but I won't because that's not what I do. But anyway, so the guy that was hosting it, like, dissed her in his opening. He's like some local yokel or something. He got 0 laughs. And then Sam Severin there, and I knew she would too. She lit that place on fire.
Oh yeah.
They were
Let me do this. Feminism. Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah.
They're so good. When her set's over, the host back up, and then he tried to like knock her again, and I mean the room went silent.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Couldn't speak. He was like, I was like, you suck. Got your ass.
That's right.
I think that one of the problems with like women in comedy is that there is this bar with women, especially where they can't go the places men can go because they have to follow the feminist checklist before they're allowed to be funny.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed that a lot. There are some extremely hilarious women, but they're like not able to do anything because they can't do what men do and say fuck feminism. I'm just going to say what I want.
I think sometimes they feel they have to do that. I think sometimes
It's
they feel
Joshua
they're
Smith.
supposed to do that, and they don't have to do that. They just got to be funny. They just got to do their shit. And if somebody's being a dick to them, then they got to be like, all right, well, fuck this. I'm just going to go do it another way. They can always do the shit, and they can do what they want. And there is pressure because they see what other people do that might get attention, but they can do the shit. They just got to do it. And when people are dicks, they say fuck them and go do it their own way. That's one thing that Relapse was great about is Bob gave people the opportunity to produce their own stuff. And you could produce your own show. You bring your own audience in, and you could film yourself, and you could start to create your own audience without having to deal with the bullshit that others would put in your way.
Listen,
Speaking of funny women, though, Joshua Smith just joined the stream. So
What's
I'm the
up,
funniest
Josh?
woman. I'm identifying as a woman tonight, so
Hell
that I can
yeah.
be the funniest woman in the world.
Did you turn Jessica turn into Josh? Is that
Told you, funniest woman in the world.
she became so funny like a man that she became one.
Oh, did you tell my funny like a man story already?
No, I haven't.
Okay. The greatest compliment I ever got was from Adam Nutter, and he is a stand-up in New York. And he said, "You are as
Pennsylvania.
funny as a man." Oh, is he from Pennsylvania? I thought he was from New York.
He's from New York. He lives in Pennsylvania now.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And he said that you're as funny as a man. And I know I should have been offended or something, but I wasn't. It was such a good compliment. I was like, thank you. And I immediately told Cam. He said, I wish I was funny like a man.
Do I look,
I do.
do I look like a floating head tonight? I like
yeah,
it.
you do.
Yeah, it's
You do,
beautiful.
actually.
Nice.
Yeah, I
You
don't
got
even
it.
see your couch,
Okay,
so I didn't know it was you.
This is thematic because it looks like it's like such a horror movie looking thing. So I kind of want to go around the table while we've got everybody here
Yes.
and get your favorite horror movies so that I can write them down for my list.
Okay.
Hey, you actually got a pad this time instead of random
I
sticky
do.
notes and
Nice.
receipts.
Yeah.
Let me before we do this.
I didn't
let
have
me
time
just
to go
tell
set
you.
up the whole couch setup, guys. I'm sorry.
No, I like the
I love
dark
this look.
Josh
You look like
Smith.
you're about to murder 2 or 3
Yeah,
people.
you've got like
But
a,
let me
like a
just tell
Hunter
you.
Biden crack thing going on. I don't know
Nice.
what it is, but
I'm looking
looks
for
good
cheese
though.
on the carpet.
Parmesan cheese.
yeah.
Yeah, you look like you're at Hunter Biden's hotel. That's what you look like.
Yes.
So our 100 horror movie challenge, the 100 Nights of Horror. Typically, Jessica has to deal with that list all by herself. And the other night, she was like, "Hey, let's talk about this list." And then I wrote a 101 movie list within what? An hour?
An hour it took him. It usually takes me a weekend. But we have been asking every guest that comes on the program to give us all their favorite horror movie so we can take it down for the list. And if it's on our list, we try to get you to come back and talk about it later. But no pressure. All I want to know is what either your favorite horror movie or if you hate horror movies, which one you hated the most. Either one will suffice. So anybody who wants to throw one out.
My favorite horror movie is Bad Taste.
Bad Taste. What year was it made? Do you know?
Ooh.
Decade?
It was one of Peter Jackson's first movies, so it had to
Okay.
be in the early 80s. It's like a New Zealand horror film where aliens come down and take on the form of humans to gather human body parts because that's what they eat on their planet.
Nice.
Is Sean Astin in it?
No, thank God. But it is very, very, very cheesy New Zealand horror film back before Peter Jackson was making Lord of the Rings and shit. So
Nice. So I'll just go from the circle from where Josh is on my screen, which makes the next one Pilar.
Yes, I've been waiting for this for like weeks.
Nice.
1984 Chud.
I already put it on the list.
Yes,
It's on the list.
Chud is so awesome.
I put it on there purely because you said it.
Dude, my childhood was based around Saturday reruns of Chud on like the local UHF station.
Oh,
Sorry.
Nice. All right. The next one is John.
The Others. Nicole
The
Kidman.
Others?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a scary one.
Oh, those are my favorites. I don't like the gore, like the hack and slash kind of films. I love those like suspense. What the hell's going on with this movie, and then just bam, there's a twist. It's
Twisted
fantastic.
you.
Yeah.
Bob.
28 Days Later, Danny Boyle.
Nice.
Already on the list.
Yes.
Good choice.
And Bradley Lee Binkley.
I think my favorite one's probably on the list from last time, which would be Halloween, the original one.
It is on the list this year. Yeah. I think
I
we're
can
doing
tell
that
you-
on Halloween.
I love the original Halloween. I can tell you what I don't really like, because I don't like the way it was used for. I don't know why my thing just changed there. Is Get Out.
Okay.
I think it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but I think just the plot, I think the suspense and everything is good and interesting. But the guy who directed it, he also directed the new Twilight Zone, and everything was, oh, the bad guy's an evil white guy. Every episode,
You're
just
racist.
like the movie. And I'm like, okay, like why does it have to be that? Why does that have to be the main point of the movie? It could be a good movie. And that doesn't have to be the main point.
So
That's
there's
why I don't-
another horror movie
Sounds
coming
racist.
out. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said sounds racist.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
There's a movie coming out called Karen,
Oh yeah.
and
No.
it is
Oh God.
exactly what
Finally.
you think it is. It's a horror movie about a suburban white woman
That's
who is, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that though, because that is horrifying. That's a horrifying thing.
Well,
suburban white woman.
There's nothing
Jordan
more
Peele.
horrifying than
My
the
wife-
suburban male monkeys, for sure.
yeah.
Is listening to this.
Bob's wife, Karen. Yes, listening.
Oh, and you know what? It's so sad because anybody who's actually named Karen is usually a really nice person.
She's totally not a Karen. Karen's not a Karen.
What's funny about the Karen meme was that when I was like in college and I had to use one of those old school GPSs to get places, I would always scream at the GPS and call her Karen.
Aw.
So you did this.
I was like,
Yeah.
shut the hell up, Karen. I know.
So he brought the demon into existence through the GPS
I thought
by
it was
calling its
funny.
name.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought it
so
was
you
funny for real.
poltergeist in your GPS was Karen.
That's right.
And,
So
and,
now-
and Josh, just so you know, before you pop out, I do need to get a fuck Sean Astin and your favorite thing about me. And you said
Uh,
you
Dipped out.
Oh.
He did it. He did
He
it.
loves Sean Astin,
Wow.
apparently.
Yeah,
What?
put it on
Yeah,
the
Rudy
record.
on repeat.
Oh,
Put it on the
that
record.
couldn't have
Love
been
Sean
timed
Astin.
better.
There he is. There he is. Hold on. We got him.
This is what happens when I use my phone, man.
Sure.
It was perfectly timed.
The
All I
timing
was
was
saying is
amazing.
before you leave, I just need a fuck Sean Astin and then your favorite thing about me and your favorite thing about Jessica. That's all. Just so you know what the order of business is tonight. Okay.
Mm. Oof. Fuck Sean Astin. That's okay. That's
Yeah.
Thank you.
I actually kind of like Sean Astin, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I
It's
did before he
okay.
dropped my damn motorcycle, son of a bitch.
I kind of like the guy. He's been in some cool movies. I mean, Goonies is a classic. So,
Rudy.
Rudy, yeah. I mean, if you're a grown man and you don't cry at the movie Rudy, then you're probably heartless. soulless
I'm a
bitch.
Georgia Tech fan, so I fucking hate the movie Rudy.
Fair, fair.
Rudy can go fuck himself.
Cam, I mean,
You're
it's-
legitimately a Georgia Tech fan?
Yeah, I don't choose it. Like, it's just like being gay. You don't choose it. You're not necessarily
enough.
born with it. You're just born into
Yeah.
a situation
Hey,
where
listen,
you never. You
listen.
just one day you wake up. I wouldn't choose this life. I would choose to be an Alabama fan.
Oh, so
Listen.
you're like an Auburn fan.
It to the government, we're
Yeah.
all bottoms. You're gay, I promise.
That's true.
Cam, your beard. I mean, it's beautiful and glorious. Seriously, you should braid it like a Viking all the time.
I should.
I keep telling him.
Yeah.
Here's
And
the
put beads in
problem. Let's talk about this. See, this thing's curly. And so it gets to a certain point and I can braid it, but you would never be able to tell. Unless I started acting like a girl and bought a hair straightener. I can't commit to that kind of thing, Josh.
I feel you. Oh,
You need to go to the barber shop. They'll do it at the barber shop.
I'm a Cal Golden Bears fan, so I'm definitely gay. But like, the cool kind of gay, not the bad kind of gay. Let's see. Oh, do I have to say something nice about you now?
No, you don't. You really don't.
You do.
You're actually one of my favorite Twitter follows. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
your
so
online,
nice.
Your online presence is great. It's amazing.
Thank you.
BTFO fools all the time. I love it. Thank you.
You guys getting a lot of controversy on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. But I used to try to listen. I tried to be the politician guy for a long time and be like, oh no, I have to be nice to people. I have to listen to their fears and blah 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 blah. And I don't give a shit anymore. So I just call everybody nerds, like constantly. Like, listen, nerd, I don't care what you have to say anymore. Did you guys watch the LNC meeting by any chance?
So I saw the clip of where that guy in the whiniest voice was like, and Joshua Smith told me to eat some dicks.
He told us to eat and suck dicks, and he called us out for being nerds. And I'm like, yep, sure did.
That was hilarious, man. Yeah, I was watching
Like,
that
was
live.
not
It
the
was really
own you thought it was, dude.
He's like, you called us out for being nerds, and I'm like, have you seen my Twitter? I literally don't give a fuck. Like,
Have you met yourself? You know?
This guy announced that he's running for lieutenant governor, and he got ratioed on his announcement for being running
For being a nerd.
Hey, Joshua, do you know of the Gay Retard Caucus?
Yes.
So do you know that's my brainchild?
I'm a devout member.
Okay, good. It's my brainchild, and do you know what inspired it?
Probably gay retards, I imagine.
That picture of that specific guy with all of his little things on his name tag, and I said, I'm surprised he doesn't say gay retard at the bottom, and hence it was born.
He told me to eat and suck dicks.
Joshua Smith told me I suck dicks, and I will never
suck dicks. And I'm like, yeah, I sure did. But I don't know if you guys see me laughing in my screen.
Oh, yeah. I will never. I'm still on the floor over that. I could not believe that moment happened in real life. It was like a gift from heaven. It was like manna. It was
like
so beautiful.
All of the podcasts in the Liberty podcast sphere need to like use that clip for things from now on.
Easily, yeah. It needs to be its own gif of him saying that and then you like giggling about it.
Yeah. It's I mean, you know, I'm just calling it
you
like
gotta
I
put
see
it in the intro for your show.
Yeah.
But I mean the intro for my show is already about putting pedophiles in wood chippers, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty based already. So.
I have to address this.
Hey, you got time for two things.
I am Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Motherfucker.
Wait, all of them? All of them?
Me.
Is this so? She says F Alabama. I don't know if that references. I said I'd be an Alabama fan earlier. Georgia Tech loses to UGA all the time. My entire life, I've liked Georgia Tech, and I've been persecuted by UGA fans. And UGA can't beat Alabama. And I was in a Roll Tide commercial that ran for a few years, and so they gave me money, and they beat Georgia. Therefore, if I was being logical, I would choose to be an Alabama fan. But I'm not.
Here's the thing. I am from Birmingham, Alabama. Born and bred Alabama fan.
Very shocked right now.
Regardless of whether or not you accept it, I have now given you customary Alabama fan status, and I will not make fun of whatever fucking school you said earlier. I have no idea. Never heard of it.
Kid from my high school just played running back for Alabama. That was kind of cool.
Nice.
A chick from your high school?
No, this kid from my high school. No, there's no chicks that are badass enough to play running back at Alabama. That's impossible.
Yeah.
No, his name was Najee Harris, but he just got drafted to the NFL. So
yeah,
nice.
He's from my high school.
Hell yeah. Roll
my
Tide.
league sucked for football because we had De La Salle. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of De La Salle, but they were on the fucking Wheaties box, a high school football team. They were undefeated for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And they were in our league, so it sucked. But then they got busted for they're like a Catholic private school and they got busted for like recruiting from all over the country.
Yeah, I was about to say all those schools end up having like recruits come in and
Fuck you guys. We could have beat you if you weren't recruiting from fucking the Midwest.
So not to go too deeply into football talk, but it's really funny to me because there's Alabama and Auburn, which is by all, like, even if Auburn sucks, which they usually do, that is like the ultimate rivalry for an Alabama fan. And Tennessee fans will come up and say, no, it's Alabama versus Tennessee. And I was like, when was the last time that the Vols played football? Because I can't remember a time. And so there's some shade. There's some Alabama shade.
I'm a Cal Berkeley fan, dude. So I feel it. It's been a long time since the '90s. But I didn't have a Gamecocks hat in high school because it was funny.
Cam,
as a female, I know nothing about sports ball, so
yeah. If you guys want it, I'm sending you a link where Rudy, the guy that you hate, gets arrested in 24. It's like a minute long. So if you're interested in it, maybe you can find some joy in that.
Cam's gonna watch that on repeat, like in a dark room with the screen blaring in his face.
Yep.
All right, guys.
I've been told that for viewers, there are some visual elements that you don't get
Thanks, dude.
from listening, and I just mimed masturbation.
That was one of them.
I need you to know that.
Yeah.
I have to bring chocolate to my fiance and mother of 7. So I love you guys.
Thanks for coming, Josh. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. Hey, congratulations on 100 episodes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In 3 weeks, I'm going to catch up.
Nice.
Well,
I believe you will.
Not everyone has the stamina that you do, Josh.
I don't know how I do it, man.
Damn,
my refractory period is much longer.
I really don't know how I do it. Next month, I'm doing 5 shows a week.
That's
crazy.
Like it would kill Jessica's back.
My back hurts. My back hurts.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Take care, man.
Male Vitality. You can buy it at Infowars.com.
Male Vitality.
Nice.
I love you guys. Later.
I see you.
Bye. I saw a banger tweet this week that said, R.I.P. Genghis Khan. He would have loved Blue Chew. Blue Chew being the male enhancement pill that a lot of libertarian podcasters sponsor.
I was me and Monica were talking about this the other day when we were on WSB. So you have a 3-hour slot, right? It's 90 minutes of the show, and then it's 90 minutes of erectile dysfunction commercials.
Nice.
Tells you who's watching the program.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I have to say a special thank you to Blue Chew because out of curiosity, I tried it. And what I found out was that I'm just a fully functioning adult male.
Yeah.
It could fucking nothing for me.
No, or you discovered it doesn't do anything, Cam.
Well, here's the deal. Like, if the wind blows the wrong way, I'm ready.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think I'm just virile as fuck. I have 5 children, for God's sake.
You just, yeah.
Yeah, you've done it. You win. That was it. Like,
that's funny.
The only time he doesn't win is when Josh is here because Josh has 7. So he
had to borrow
as he was
some.
leaving.
So I
he
feel
did
like
have to
my
borrow
record
some.
is pretty good.
You guys are having a competition.
Yeah, I know. I feel kind of weak. I only have 4.
Dude, the person who truly completely beats me is Warren Dent from Zen Pro Audio.
8.
8.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That he expelled from his loins into his wife.
Yeah. Does he ever talk to any of them, or?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't talk to mine.
They wear name tags?
Are some of those twins? Because I think that doesn't count as 2.
I don't think so.
Just one, yeah.
I think he's just. He's a little older than I am, but he's Catholic.
I feel like you have a twin.
That
you
was
should give
implied.
one of them away to somebody else. I think.
Old Lady Dent is putting him out.
Yes. He has 10 people in his house right now. Some of them are older, and so they're like adults, but they're still in his house. So I mean, I feel like at least mine are young.
Yeah.
Well, when you have 4 and up, I feel like if anybody says to you, "You in what army?" You come packing an army. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
you have a posse, so nobody can really mess with you, especially when you get old. Like, you'll have a bunch of young people who can kick ass for you. So it's a good deal.
That Dodge Caravan, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When
You
people
just named the car that I have. Oh my god.
What was that,
That's
Bob?
hilarious. I had no idea.
I think sometimes having children are. My oldest is 26. My youngest is 4, and so I've had one a decade, and so people are like, "Well, that doesn't make any sense." But I am certain if I make it to like 70 or 80, it'll probably be the only thing that makes sense. You know, it's like
So you have one a decade.
Yeah.
My youngest she'll be 6 months old.
wow.
In a few weeks, I think. It's hard to keep up. The oldest will be 7 in November.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Your
Which
cat.
one wins in a fight between those
Let's
two?
just say my AR came with automatic mode. Is all I'm saying. My Freedom Fiddle works at full capacity.
Right.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's good because some of us don't have any kids, so it's good that y'all are out there replacing the people that I did not bother to make. So
I'll tell you.
How about people who donate to sperm banks all the time? We knew some people that used to do that, and I used to tell one of my friends that did that all the time. I was like, dude, technology is getting a little too advanced. You're gonna have a bunch of 18-year-olds knocking at your door in the next 18 to 25 years.
Binkley and I talked about that on the Propaganda Report's disappearing patron party this last week, actually. We talked about the movie Delivery Man with Vince Vaughn, where he had over 500 children from donating sperm, which allegedly was based on a true story.
Wow.
I don't know if it really was, but allegedly.
Wow.
That's a lot, man.
There's this one doctor who was just putting his own sperm in them. He was populating all these women.
I know about that story.
Yeah, it's just like, what the fuck, dude?
He was saving money, man. He didn't have to go to the bank and negotiate all of these donors. He just did it himself.
Right? Yeah, maybe people maybe he's tossing everybody else's sperm out, putting his in. It's just
like I'm a doctor.
Yeah, totally. And so there's another story. This is a couple years ago, but there was a guy who was
Trust the science.
He was an independent sperm donor, and he presented himself on Facebook as, "Hey, I'm an independent sperm donor. I do it naturally." So he was offering to have sex with people to give the sperm to them. I
will bang your wife.
baby.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible.
That's innovative.
My husband and I, we were watching, we've considered slightly the idea of adoption, and we were watching the horror movie challenge last year, and one of the movies is a movie called Orphan. Yeah, and it's about a girl who they adopt from the Ukraine, and they think that she's 9 years old, but it turns out that she's like 38.
No,
it's Michael Malice.
Legit story, isn't it?
It's a legit story. So that was the craziest thing is we looked into it, and that really happened to a couple. They adopted a child. It turned out it was just like a girl with like progeria or dwarfism or something like that, and she was actually like 30-something years old and terrorized this family.
Like tried to
their age almost.
Wow, crazy.
So they they figured out what she was, and they tried to like give her own apartment and like move out of town. And the court system caught up with them, and they're like, "You can't just leave her." And they're like, "She's in her 30s."
Yeah.
So it was a messy
have babies
situation.
so young, you know.
Yeah.
Did you hear that story of this was like it was on documentaries a couple of years ago of this little girl who was schizophrenic, and she was one of the youngest diagnosed with schizophrenia ever. And they had to her mom and dad bought a separate apartment in the same structure for her to live in because she kept trying to murder her little brother.
Oh my God.
And it was like a horrifying story.
Yeah.
Turns out, I read this the other day.
The younger sibling did, like why she was.
Yeah, what was he wearing? Deserve it.
Don't victim blame Binkley.
But I read a follow-up, and I didn't expect to read a follow-up on this, but I read a follow-up the other day, and apparently the couple divorced, and first off, the husband just left and started a new family and doesn't want anything to do with his kids. But it turns out she had shopped around different psychiatrists and psychologists to get a schizophrenic diagnosis for her son as well. And it turned out to be Munchausen's by proxy.
I was wondering. That's my next question. Yeah.
She was doing it.
Yeah.
She was doing it. And Munchausen's by proxy is maybe one of the most terrifying things out there.
I know some people that work with foster kids, and I know some people adults that I think might have I've worked with in certain capacities that I've realized are experiencing that or have that, and it's crazy. I mean, it's like once you realize what's going on, it's just like holy shit. Everything is
Have you ever heard of Gypsy Rose? So there was this girl named Gypsy Rose. Her mom, Dee Dee, had bad case of Munchausen's by proxy. So she gave her daughter different drugs that made her more or less seemingly retarded. And she'd ride around in a wheelchair. She'd do all the Make-A-Wish stuff, all of that. And at some point, when she was old enough, Gypsy Rose met a guy who she liked, and they planned and murdered her mother for doing this to her. And of course, the boyfriend did things that no one should do to another human being. Definitely not a dead body. But Munchausen's by proxy is not something you ever want to do.
I remember that story, actually. It's crazy. It's nuts. And they tell the neighbors and stuff, and they force the girl to go to doctors. And they, if one doctor can't figure something out, they find another doctor, and they just continue to do that. And it can become, for the child growing up like that, some of them, it can almost manifest reality in a certain way, where even if it's not really there, that's all they've ever known until someone shows them something different. It's terrible. It's horrible.
Jeez, that is a cheerful.
Well, the Quest makes a really interesting point, though, because COVID will accelerate the fuck out of Munchausen's by proxy.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
I think that's a good point. Definitely.
I have not thought about that. That is absolutely terrifying.
It's caused abuse to rise. It's caused obviously anxiety. Yeah. These stories, anxiety up during the pandemic. People are feeling more depressed. Yeah, no shit. They've been locked in their house, told they're going to die for a year and a half, and forced to watch your bullshit all the time, like the CNN and all this stuff on TV.
Did you see a lot of day drinking? A lot of day drinking.
Biden's tweet today, or not? I guess he was speaking, and someone else tweeted it.
But he had said, where he's talking about the weapons and stuff.
Well, that too. But he'd also said that violent gun crime is up since the beginning of the pandemic. And of course, me being me, I was like, nah, bitch, it's up since you took office. For one, it seemed like there are a lot of things that are happening that are a little bit too planned feeling, in my opinion. But beyond that, lock people into their houses for a year and a quarter and see how many of them go out and go, hey, I could shoot some people.
It's a grand social experiment for sure.
Yeah.
What did he say about the weapons too? He was talking about guns. I don't remember the exact quote.
Yeah, me and Cam kind of had the same thought at the same time when he did that too. He was given that speech and he said something along the lines of, there are some people who think that they're going to overthrow the government. Well, let me tell you, you'd need F-15s and nuclear weapons to do that. And I said, did that man just said that he would use nuclear weapons on his own people? Because it sure sounded like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a threat for sure.
Well, and his incoherent rambling made it worse because it was kind of hard to follow the 2-minute soundbite because it didn't really make sense. It didn't flow. You couldn't follow what he was saying. And then he just throws in this F-15 thing in the middle of this incoherent rambling.
He's got the best job in the world. He never has to make sense, and everybody around him will defend him and tell you it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's the greatest job ever.
I wish I had a hype man like that on my podcast. That would be awesome. Every time I just start rambling and stuff, they're like, no, hey guys, hang on. This is what he actually meant.
Right. Completely different.
That's what Jessica's here for, is so that, when I say some shit, she's like, no, for the humans. This is what he was saying.
See, Robert just makes fun of me, and that doesn't help me,
I mean, corn pop. He talked about whipping corn pop with a chain or some shit like that. And it's just like, nobody cares. He doesn't mean it like that. It means it like this. It's really nice. And Trump would mean it like that, though, if Trump said it.
Right. Yeah.
Trump would give red meat to his base, and I think this is Biden giving the same to his.
Yeah.
And it's just,
his base doesn't eat red meat.
Well, soy loaf. Soy, right. So he definitely has to feed them what they want to hear. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The idea that I wouldn't put it past the state to use that kind of weaponry on its own people, because they've certainly done that kind of thing in the past before. But like nuclear weapons are indiscriminate. Like you wouldn't just get the Republicans,
Right.
Like,
Yeah. I think you're right, though. I think there's a little bit of him saying that as red meat, as bait for the other side to attack him. So they fit the stereotype of being the right wing that the left wing doesn't like and continues the
Right.
fighting and the bickering. Bob, can I ask you a question about some attire that you used to wear sometimes at your theater in front of a bunch of progressives?
Was it the shirt? Which shirt? I wore a bunch of stuff.
It's just Bob, you're more conservative, libertarian conservative, I would say. Also, you've given more opportunities to people who are progressive Democrat. You see people as people, very much so. See people as people. You don't see as labels or any of the infighting like that. But you're very funny, and you sometimes. I remember one time I showed up and I think you had a MAGA hat on or something at the middle of a bunch of.
No, you didn't.
Because there was this guy who was taking a class there, total left guy, and so I just wore it to be funny. I had the MAGA hat. I had a Hillary for prison T-shirt on, InfoWars shirt.
Yeah, that was great.
And so I showed up, and the audience was already showing up there, and it was an entirely black audience. I rolled up, MAGA gear on, and I was like, "Well, I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm gonna take it off."
Yeah.
Smart choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? The hill I want to die on today. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and you could have.
Well, no. I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I'm certain that it's all the media. Because I own a comedy club in Midtown, it's gays and progressives and just every kind of person that's stereotyped on that side. But I don't know, 99.9% of them are awesome, just the best.
Yeah.
And
I actually have that same experience with my friends. Most of them are progressive. I'm like the odd man out, and I don't get the vitriol that you would think.
Point of clarification. What the fuck is a friend?
Well,
what?
Listen, I've got an idea of that. So, I think a friend is someone that you would that you die for. That's what I think.
It's a high bar, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure.
He's telling the truth. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that my kids are not my friends.
They shouldn't be for sure. That's what I tell my kids all the time. I'm like, you got 7 billion people you can be friends with. You got one dad. I'm not your butt. I'm not your entertainer.
There you go. It's a way to do it.
But we're friendly. We're friendly, but I'm their dad.
Yeah.
And I think when they become adults, I certainly have like a friendly relationship with my dad now, and definitely was not the case when we were kids. Like he put the fear of God into us a little bit, but now that we're adults, there's definitely like a friendship aspect to it that I really appreciate. But I'm glad was not there when I was too young for it. Yeah.
Now, an acquaintance is someone that you would kill for.
Wow, you have like really high bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I have to kill for you now, Bob.
What's the ratio? Like, are there more people that you would kill for than you would die for?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think those are the same people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there are people that I would kill for that I wouldn't necessarily die for.
I think people.
I don't know. Not for me, at least.
What would Jack Bauer do? Is what I always ask.
Probably
Who would you
family.
torture if you had to?
Yeah.
Dude, I love acquaintances. I think acquaintances are the bomb. Some people like try to diminish that, but I think it's great. You bump into people every couple of years, you catch up. I mean, I think that's, the spice of life. I absolutely love that.
I think that's better when you get older. Like when you're younger, I think you want more friends than acquaintances. But once you get older, you kind of want to separate from other people. You have your own thing going on. And so you kind of like keep very few people in, but most people are out. And you just kind of once in a while,
And that's the thing. Like, I think there's a point to that because if you look at how the world orients itself and how individuals orient themselves, you would definitely kill for your neighbors or for people in your town or your city or your I mean, some people will do it for their country. your state, but you wouldn't necessarily die for your neighbor. I mean, you might.
Yeah, that's true, because I think if I saw someone attacking my neighbor, I'd go out there and do what I had to do. But
Right.
I don't know
But
that
there's a
I'd
possibility
die
you
for
die,
him.
but you might die doing that though.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
might
kind of
die,
like you have to
but,
be
like-
willing. If you're willing to kill for someone, you have to be willing to die for that same
Well, not
thing.
necessarily.
Because in the act of killing, you might also be the one killed.
But
Well,
that's,
hopefully, because he's attacking my neighbor, his back will be turned toward me, so
Well,
I'll get
yeah,
like a
I
good
mean,
shot at
you
it.
can
Yeah.
you can use a sniper rifle, but and kill for someone. But it's like
Sure.
if you are willing to die for someone, that means you jump in front of a bullet. So this is a
Right.
good point.
So the
I respect this,
premeditation
Bob.
comes in the killing with the sniper rifle, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
or
zero
just being prepared,
Well,
Or
no,
being
listen,
prepared.
like for anything.
no. So like that. There's that golden rule, right? You're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself, right?
Yes.
That's solid. I don't care who you are. I think it's a solid rule, whatever you believe in. But here's the thing about this, though. If I love my neighbor as myself, okay, if I'm hungry, I just go to the refrigerator and make a sandwich. There's no inner thought, inner dialogue. I just go and do it. Now the question is, now if I see somebody who's hungry, do I, with the same matter of factness, lack of thought, just go get them a sandwich? That's the test of like loving people you love yourself. So would I, if I don't know.
Damn, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's good shit
Holy
there, Bob.
crap.
I really appreciate that.
It's so simple too. Like, yeah, that's incredible.
So that's been 840. That's been the trip. I hope that I would. I hope I'm that kind of person. Try to be. But so that was why I was said a friend is someone that lay down their life for you. That's what a real friend is. And the same matter of fact that I would try to save my life, without any forethought. I just would try to save my life. I hope that I would just die for someone if that's what it. There's this old movie I saw when I was a kid. It was these sailors. They're in a submarine, and so this one guy had to close the door from the inside, so he's obviously going to die or whatever.
It's like Armageddon, kind of.
I saw that as a child, and it shook me to my core. I'm like, wow, like that. And I wasn't like, oh, that's scary. I was like, that guy is a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to live to be very old. I have no desire to.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't have to be the black and white necessarily all the time, where sometimes you maybe don't have to necessarily kill or have to necessarily die to accomplish the goal. But having that mentality, I think would.
Well, someone says,
motivating
well,
factor.
I'm not racist. I have a black friend. They say, well, you can still be racist and have a black friend. I'm like, motherfucker, I would die for my friend. So,
Yeah, they're like, that's really racist to think that you would have to.
That is white privilege.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you have to die for me because,
You
Well, yeah,
can't
'cause
let
you're
the black
white. You
guy
gotta
die
die
for
for me. I
himself.
can't die for myself. Yeah, exactly.
There is my husband and I have actually been doing a movie marathon of submarine movies. And the theme of the
sweet.
captain
so
having
boring.
to choose, I don't know, we're old. Having to choose one of the men to do something that will send him to his certain death is a huge theme throughout these submarine movies.
Mm.
And it's there is a Matthew McConaughey movie where they don't give him a command because Bill Paxton tells him, I don't think that you could send one of these boys to die. You're too friendly with them. And but of all the submarine movies, I think the absolute best one that we watched was Das Boot.
Yes, that
And
is awesome movie.
It is from the perspective of the German U-boat captain. And this is a gritty submarine movie from exactly how submarines were in the 1940s. Like they had the meat hanging over the bunks and men sharing bunks and stuff like that. It is a gritty ass movie. And if you really want to know what submarine life was like back in the World War II era, Das Boot all the way.
Yeah. What were you saying about
Highly
the men
recommend.
sharing bunks?
Yeah, that was the part that caught me.
Yeah, they did more than
Yeah.
share the bunks.
There's stereotypes come from somewhere, don't they?
Yeah.
What you said about that's the always thing about president that being a politician and politicians, I think, in my opinion, are for the most part public relations people and probably not making a lot of the decisions that we're led to believe they're making. But if we take it on the surface level of what they say that they are and the decisions that they would have to make, what a fucking terrible job to have. What a burden.
Yeah.
What the worst job in the world because there's always war. We're in these constant wars, and it's like, you're making decisions where people's children are no doubt going to die, and they're no doubt going to die because they enlisted in something, probably due to being a little bit naive at a certain age. Maybe not all of them, but it's just, who would want to have that job and have to wear that on your conscience the rest of your life?
Well, one of my favorite quotes, and I can't remember where this comes from. I can't remember who said it. I can't remember where it comes from. But it was in reference to, being in the military. He says, a leader will sometimes have to send his men to their deaths. You have to determine whether or not those are lives spent or lives wasted. And it is acceptable to spend lives, but it is never acceptable to waste them.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that was like really, really profound.
Yeah, that is very profound. You know how one of his sons died? One of Stalin's sons died. He got captured. He got captured by the Nazis, and the Nazis were going to trade some generals for Stalin's son to give him back. And Stalin said, Stalin said, "I don't trade generals for a soldier," and then the Nazis killed him, and he earned Hitler's respect. So that's what Stalin did. So anybody who thinks that the Nazis and the communists were different, they weren't.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that we don't look at Napoleon as the war hero I think we otherwise would look at him as is because he very cheaply spent he wasted lives.
He wasted a lot of lives.
Yeah, he wasted lives. Yeah, as opposed to something that, I don't know, might have been for a reason. He just wanted conquest, and he just dumped the French people on top of his ambition. And they had already just been through all the revolution stuff, so they were not having it with this guy. Like, off to the island with you, fella.
I just don't understand that mentality. How could we understand that mentality? It's just totally like a different world.
Yeah,
it takes me back to what Cam was saying at the beginning about watching your general skin someone for the first time and make a sword belt out of the skin. You got to be like, whoa. Didn't realize that general is going to be doing that kind of shit.
Well, I mean, and to be fair, he allegedly did that, and then they hanged Drew and quartered him. So it's like he got it back like tenfold. Do you know what hanging, drawing, and quartering is?
Yeah.
No.
I only know from Braveheart. If it's anything like the end scene in Braveheart.
With horses.
Yeah. So the first part's super easy. They hang him, and then they draw him from behind horses or a buggy, and so they take that line around his neck, and they drive him along, and he is on the ground doing that number. And then they quarter him, which means they cut his body typically into 4 or 5 pieces. They say quartering, but they typically cut off the head as well. And so they sent his different body parts to different parts of the country to warn people not to do what he did.
I wonder who got the dick.
Yeah.
They cut the dick off and did something extra with it, because why wouldn't you?
And
I mean, maybe you rub it.
Yeah, they like celebrate the guy that gets that, runs around with it.
Where's the good luck dick?
Just coming from the Wallace family, I can tell you that I got the dick.
Yeah,
As they say that, we did a DNA thing, so I share the same haplogroup with William Wallace as well. So somewhere you and I,
there's a dick buried somewhere.
You said they said you had some white in your beard. I'm 32, motherfucker, and this shit is just growing. So I take it.
I thought it was ranch.
White in the beard is a reflection.
No, it's cocaine.
Yes.
They did some crazy shit to their enemies back in the day, and I think they still do now in other countries. We are, people complain about America a lot, but like, it's kind of good to live here and not live in, Syria.
It is unless you're like Julian Assange. If you didn't commit any crime at all, but you really, really pissed the wrong people off.
Ross Ulbricht.
Not so good.
If you're on the wrong side of U.S. foreign policy, that's not a good idea. It's not a good place to be.
Well, and that's the question. Is like, people tell you to move. They're like, if you don't like it here, move. Yeah. It's like, here's the question: do I want to be a part of the United States domestic policy or foreign policy? Because I feel like one of those is much worse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That is
I wouldn't
true.
want to be in Yemen. Is all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
That's
yeah.
true.
Well, so I heard it's
For sure.
beautiful there. It's
True.
beautiful. The sky lights up at night, and
I
I
believe
hear
the
they have a
Saudis
dome
provide
made of
free
iron.
lights at night.
They do. It's very kind of them to do with all their oil money.
I need to get some oil money.
Yeah. Be nice.
Okay, Jed Clampett, chill out.
That's what Bitcoin is like. Everybody's a Jed Clampett, just trying to hit it big on Dogecoin until it crashes. Have you guys seen this story about this guy who he invested like all of his money, is like $30,000 or something, into Dogecoin when it was, I think, still less than $1, like back in November, December, or something like that. And then it blew up, and he became a millionaire. So the guy went from like $30,000 to like a multimillionaire. He has been holding on white knuckles for dear life, losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it started to tick back up again. But I'm like, man, I wish this guy would have sold when he had like a couple of $1 million, because I think that's good. That's a good profit. You don't need to keep riding it at that point.
The person that I feel sorry for, though, is the man who spent 50,000 Bitcoin on 2, I think, Domino's pizzas.
Yes.
Oh.
It was a good
And
deal.
I know
at the
he was
time,
making
back in
a
the day.
point.
At the time, yeah.
You
but
get the
still.
breadsticks and the
Breadsticks
and
are
the
good,
2 liter.
The brownies.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to turn that down.
So those pizzas cost them today, though. Like, oh my god.
I know.
Speaking of pizza, we do have a pizza psychic in our midst.
Oh,
And
God.
so what I need from the group is,
Right.
if you were to order a pizza right now, what toppings would you order? And we'll start with Binkley. And then Jessica here will give you a brief reading
I'm
on what
supposed
that
to
means about you
divine
as a person.
what it means
Yeah.
about you as an individual.
That's a tough choice. I back in the day, I would probably go like pepperoni, but then I saw a bunch of pigs playing with dogs, and I really like dogs. And it was too cute, so I stopped eating pepperoni, and it doesn't make any sense logically. But yeah, so I eat a lot of white pizza with like spinach on it, and like cooked spinach and olives, and it's kind of a weird pizza, and I don't even know the name of it. But I usually get one of those weird looking white pizzas with green stuff on it.
Do you know what? Just to break in, do you know one of the best things about ordering a pizza with olives on it is?
What?
In my house, no one else will eat it.
Yeah,
That just
it's good though. Like it's really
But
good.
at what cost?
Dude, I love olives.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give them the dick
So-
though. You have to.
Obviously, because you said white, you're some
You're
kind
gay.
of white pizza supremacist.
Yeah, I will. Yes, I always only get. And the guy who
Right.
delivers it always has like a Klan hood on. I think. 'Cause he's fucking racist.
That's the flavor.
Not the Flava Flav.
Yeah.
No.
That's what you do if you order from Papa John's, though, is they say, because Papa John's has now become the racist pizza, even though Shaquille O'Neal is now the spokesperson,
right.
but it's still associated with the previous guy who got set up anyway. He did. He was set up.
No. Yeah, he
was set
he
up.
was and he wasn't.
He's an idiot.
He said what he said.
Idiot. He's
Yeah.
an idiot, but he was quoting someone. So I mean,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
he was set up.
Mm.
How about you, John?
I've got 2, but I'm going to go with the controversial one: pepperoni and pineapple.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That is the right way to do pineapple on a pizza is with
Yeah.
Oh,
pepperoni.
There is no wrong way to
for-
put pineapple on
do
a
it-
pizza.
to do it
so
with
I'm among
ham.
friends. I didn't realize I was among friends.
Yes,
Awesome.
to do it with ham is an anathema,
Of course.
and it is excommunicable. But if you do it with pepperoni, you're doing it correctly. So I bless you, son.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
How about you, Bob?
Here's-
So I learned a lot about you there, John.
I'm gonna go pepperoni, bacon, banana peppers, extra
Yes.
cheese.
Ooh,
He likes to keep it spicy. I like that.
banana peppers
Keep it-
are good.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a little
I do-
pickled too, so I like that. Yes.
I do prefer pepperoncinis, but I'm with you.
Yeah. Means you keep it interesting. I like that.
What have we been talking? Crust, thin or thick? Though, do we?
Thin, well done.
So, what does
Okay.
crust tell you about the kind of women you like, Jessica?
I didn't know we were getting into the cannibalism part of
All right.
this. Yeah.
Weird way to take that.
I prefer white meat. I always have.
Okay, racist.
So
How about
yeah.
you, Pilar?
Have you guys ever had pizza from Worcester, Massachusetts? Worcester pie. So it was on
No.
Man vs. Food, and we heard about it. We were up there for work, and we go to this place, and we order the Worcester style pie. It's a thin crust pizza. I think it was pepperoni, and they burn it on purpose. And their theory is that it brings the oils out in the pizza, and it's a totally unique flavor. My theory is that some dude burned a pizza 30 years ago and was like, nah, dude, that was on purpose. And he just like started this Worcester style pizza thing. But if you're ever there, enjoy a burned pepperoni pizza.
Let me ask you something about the Worcester pizza. Has it ever made fun of a kid whose dad just died?
Oh, well, it would if it could.
That's an
Worse
inside
than,
Twitter joke.
A burned pepperoni pizza. Like, so I've gotten drunk many times in my life in my early 20s, and as you come home at night and you put a frozen pizza in the oven so that you don't die before morning. And there have been more than one occasion where I have just passed out and the pizza remained in the oven. So it doesn't catch the house on fire, just to let you know. What it actually does is turn the pizza into this little hard charcoal disc, and then it makes your house smell like the angels of hell have descended on it for the next month, because pizza air is heavy and it settles
heavy
at the lowest
Smells
point.
like Worcester's pizza.
Yeah. So that Worcester pizza story just kind of reminded me of some not great decisions I made in my life.
They have
Traumatic.
pizza in Chicago. They have this real thick crust pizza in Chicago, and really, they'll put anything in the pizza in Chicago. It's like a challenge. Like, what do you want us to put on it? It will make it taste good. But you get mashed potato pizza, and I remember looking at that and going, "That sounds like it doesn't work well together." And then I tried a piece of it, and it was amazing.
I'm gonna
Fascinating.
die. I can't. I'll die if I eat that.
I've seen
Right, it's very good.
pickles.
Sounds
I've seen
delicious.
pickles on a pizza, which people
Not
are like,
curious
that's
about
gross.
that.
But
Bad.
the pepperoncinis go.
No.
The banana
Nope.
peppers go. So why wouldn't pickles go?
Incorrect. No.
These
Pilar
white
is
guys with
absolutely against it.
white tongues.
Fuck pickles. Like in general, just pickles. No.
You have
no.
what did a
Bad.
pickle do something
Bad.
to you as a do you have a,
No.
as a child?
What did
a pickle?
Larry the cucumber do to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's not, I want
this
to talk
is
about that.
a
Alright?
safe place.
No, dude. I can't do pickles. It's just nasty.
Show
I
us
hate the
where
smell of
Larry
them.
touched you.
He doesn't have one.
What did Pickle Rick do to you is probably the better question. So we hit the 2-hour mark, which means that we should probably begin wrapping up. So let me ask the most important question that we ask on this show. Bob, if you don't know, we talk about white pills. So the white pill is opposed to the black pill, which is nihilism, death, losing. And the white pill, or the hope pill, as Jessica likes to call it, is something that's happening right now, be it global, be it countrywide, or even individual, that gives you a little hope for the future, that helps you carry on, So I'll ask Bob first. So what is something right now that is a white pill that gives you hope that you would want to share with others?
Well, okay. So, I love God, guys. I do. People
Me too.
might take that weird, but I do with all my heart. I fully believe 100% God is good all the time, always taken care of. I tell you, when I talk to people, when I wake up in the morning, they're like, well, I don't want to hear. I ask them, I say, well, let me ask you a question. When you wake up every morning, are you hopeful and happy? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, then I fucking win. Right? Because every day. So if I didn't have that, I'd have nothing. It's the most important thing in my life, my faith.
Amen.
That's it.
I love it.
And that's one of the things is I ask this question, but if I were to answer 100% the most hopeful thing every time, I would say the resurrection.
Amen.
So I have to go a little off book every now and then. I've said it before, but I love that answer.
Yeah,
John,
it's great.
You've never been on our show before.
Correct.
What is your white pill right now?
So I've actually got a more nationalized one and a personal one. If you don't mind me doing two.
Do two.
So the more broad scope would be that critical race theory is now a household term. And I think that's a great thing because now we're seeing people finally normies pushing back on it, which is excellent. which means that it's
Mhm.
a lot less likely to continue or at least grow as fast as it has been for the past 6 to 8 years, however long it's been, that it's been really ramping up. So that's a really positive thing in my opinion. And then personally, I have a 5-year plan to become an agorist. So, and like an actual practicing agorist, which is nice. They've got a
Nice.
plan or a place in Tennessee, up in the Smoky Mountains, and it's only going to take me about 5 years to get there. So, as long as
Hey,
Awesome.
as long as everything works out well, then I'll be there.
that's something
Awesome.
that's great because that's
And
one
you
of
play
the
the
things that
fiddle
we
too,
talk
by the way,
about a
which I was
lot.
very impressed by.
I gotta I gotta be in character when I get there. I gotta be able to
Yeah,
play the
yeah.
part.
That's cool.
You'd think by how much I love bourbon that I'd be moving to Kentucky, but I'm not.
Don't move to Kentucky,
Bourbon's
man.
good.
I was born there. There's nothing there.
Irish whiskey is better in my opinion, but actually I don't have.
Well,
the
it
bottle
depends on the
anymore.
Irish whiskey. If I'm
That's
there's
true. That's
like
true.
there's some great bourbon.
Hold on. We're doing
There is.
pills. We're not doing booze right now.
Let
We're
me
doing
just
pills.
say,
Well, what do you
I
take
haven't
pills
tried
with, Jessica? Come on.
well, you're not supposed to mix.
Energy
but
drink?
Okay.
Duh.
Oh yeah, you're right.
let's just say, Redbreast 12 is maybe one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth.
Horse Soldier. I'll give you Horse Soldier. That was really good. I've had that recently as a bourbon. It's
Most
delicious.
recent bottle, High West.
Yeah, see, I don't have my bottle anymore. It's empty, so I threw it away.
But
These
this
whiskey
bottle's so
people.
cool.
Yeah.
But let me just say, one of the most surprising, like not, made and aged by them is Michter's.
Huh.
That stuff's tasty. So, okay, so moving on. Binkley, give me another white pill.
Okay, so there was a story last week. There was this baby that was born 5 months premature. It was born after 4 months. It was the Guinness Book of World Records for a baby born after only 4 months. And when the parents were they were sat down and they said the chance of your baby actually surviving is 0%. This baby is going to die. You could see the baby. The parents could hold the baby in their hand, and they could see its skin was so translucent they could see its organs, they could see its veins, they could see everything, and they were holding essentially a corpse, according to what the doctor said. That was a year ago. This baby just celebrated its first birthday. It said, "Fuck you," to everybody who said I have 0% chance of living.
Hell yeah.
Anybody who tells you can't do anything or something's not possible, they're fucking wrong. There's always a way.
Awesome.
Doctors
Love that.
too.
Yeah.
And Pilar, my dude, like honestly, of the relationships I've made purely on Twitter, you are top 2. And you know who the other one is. It's Whip.
Oh, so Whip is a special guy, man. He really is.
But let us know what's giving you a little hope for the future.
Well, you might think that it would come from the newspaper, since I read it every morning to people, but it doesn't, because that's a terrible place to find any sort of good news. It actually comes from the two of you. I was watching your show, and you guys were talking with a guest about doing better and just being better, living a Christian example. I went to bed, woke up the next day, went to a Bible study I go to every Thursday, and they talked about the same thing. So I went home and deleted my Twitter. I took a 3-day break to reset and came back with a much more positive Twitter experience. And it's because of the two of you.
Oh.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for telling us that. I'm so happy
you guys
to
are
hear that.
awesome. You guys mean a lot to a lot of people.
It's crazy to me how when like these topics will coincide, that someone will tell me something, and then I do a catechumen class on Tuesdays, and my cam will say something, and then my priest will bring it up, and I'm like, this, I don't know what they call that, kismet or whatever. It's weird how that happens.
Well, and I am not the best Christian on the planet, but my parents taught me how to listen and taught me how to discern. And so hearing that at all is like maybe one of the best compliments I've ever heard.
Sweet.
So
It's not really a heart.
it's really bad at hearts.
I just realized, Jessica, that your head is actually lining up, at least on my screen, perfectly with the image of your head that is the background on my screen. So it's like fitting almost perfectly there.
It's been messing with me the entire time. I've been trying to make my headphones line up to the headphones.
Yo,
You see
Cam's
that?
almost got it also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's somehow unsettling, Cam.
It's really distracting.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
awesome. That was a
guys.
great white pills from everybody, I think. We didn't hear
Yeah.
do you guys any more? You guys have given white pills up, but do you guys have any more white pills to add, Cam and Jessica?
do you have one, Jessica?
I didn't know that I was going to be on the spot for this. Dang it. Yeah, I have found a church and a community that has been really special to me. It took me 2.5 years. I've been searching for a church, and only in the last like month and a half did I land at one that actually like feels like home. And I'm really grateful for that. And I just think that community is so important. Like isolation is a killer. And I just, really want everyone to like reach out to those family members and reach out to those friends because they want to hear from you no matter what your brain tells you.
That's fantastic.
And for me, like, honestly, it's been a hard little bit. Like, things have not been fantastic for me. But what I've found is that, and it's not necessarily family or friends that I've known for years, but there are strangers on the internet who, when you say things are going bad, will send you either prayers or will help you find a job or will send you hundreds of dollars to help you out. And the fact that there is mutual aid like that, the fact that there is charity that is not even tied to familial bonds or sometimes even knowing someone remotely. Like the people, there was one girl who sent me, I think she sent me $5, but it may have been the most impactful $5 because she didn't know me from Adam. She listened to one of the same podcasts I listened to. And she goes, I'm a fan of this guy. So are you. Here's $5. I want to help you out. That's amazing.
That's great. Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's something that like has no connection to anything other than the fact that one person was like, we like the same things.
Yeah.
And I want to bless you. And that's beautiful to me.
I agree, man. It's people do
Absolutely.
in surprising ways. People, I mean, it shouldn't be surprising, but people can be very supportive and very kind, very cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, they want you to think the world is bad because your enemies want you demoralized. And if you refuse to be demoralized, you're already striking a blow against the people that hate you.
Yeah.
Let me just say one other one, the obvious one. With other people, most successfully and happily in some ways with Jessica, have spoken into a microphone for over 100 times, but officially 100 times. And I'm still doing it. And I still have the motivation to do it. And I swear to God, I'm getting better. So, I mean, that's crazy to me. That's a lot. That's a lot of talking. Like there are hours of conversation, and there are people who will message me and say either they didn't agree or they did agree. Like one big thing for me, if he listens to this, was Ryan messaged me today from Technoagrist, and he said your treatment in the episode with Mike Meharry about Anam and the way the feds used that encrypted thing was the only, I don't know if he said it was the only, but essentially the right take. It was the take that most people miss. And I was just like,
that always feels good.
I just half-assed it. I mean, it's just like, here's where my brain goes. And
don't tell people you half-assed it. You whole-assed it.
Yeah.
If I whole-assed things, no one would watch because they'd be like, he's so boring and smart.
Right.
But with that, I do think it's time to wrap up. I made some cool new video stuff, and I'm so excited about using it. Also, the art that Top Lobster made of me as Fat Thor and Jessica as Black Widow is now on a shirt on our on the website. So it's on Amazon. But if you go to wearethemadOnes.com/store, you can actually buy a shirt with my face on it. And this dude down here already bought one. Pilar already bought one,
Awesome.
and that's incredible.
Rad, man.
That's
Yeah.
incredible
Thanks.
to me.
That's awesome.
And I got some
I
great
can't wait to
coffee
see it.
too.
Nice. Lorenzotti, guys. It's where it's at. Those smelly beans. Go get those smelly beans.
Smelly beans are good. But with that, we got to remind you, if you want to find Brad Binkley, he's on the Propaganda Report every day. Extra episodes on Rockfin. He has extra content on Patreon. Like, the dude's always working. So is Monica. If you don't patronize these people, I think you're dumb. So do that. John has a show called The Generation Gap. And what's funny, and don't tell him I said this, your name is the only one I remembered. I don't remember your co-host.
What's your co-host's name?
Robert.
Robert.
Yep.
We had this whole
That's right.
argument about not
I'm the one
knowing
who
what it
makes the
was.
impression on people, so it's fine. Like, I'm not offended, I promise.
I've been on that show like twice too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
love Robert
check
though.
out-
He's fun.
He is, yeah.
Check out John and Robert at the Generation Gap? Generational
Yeah.
Gap. And then Bob, you have a theater, and I am not from Georgia. I lived there for about 2 years, but I never went there. And honestly, I'd love to move back to that area at some point. What's the name of it so I can find it?
Relapse Theater.
And what's the name of the YouTube special you're on again?
It's going to be called Rory Scovel Live Without Fear. It premieres tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on his channel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
check it
then
out.
we've got Pilar Petrie of OPSEC Drip, who is like, so we have sponsors insofar as, if you buy some Lorenzotti coffee, we get some money from that. But Pilar is the first person who ever actually sponsored us. He actually sent us money to include him in our show. And it was easily
Keep
one
the
of the
lights on.
most complimentary things that's ever happened.
It's an amazing show, man.
I hope so.
We love
I
you.
try. But we love Pilar and his show every day. He missed a couple, like he said, but every day he reads the news in around 60 seconds and gives you the headline of the day and some thoughts to think of. It's called OPSEC Drip. You can go to opsecdrip.com, right?
Yep.
And, it's on YouTube, OPSEC Drip on Twitter.
It's the only podcast on Twitter because it's so short.
Yeah.
On TikTok, I saw a podcast that was 15 seconds long.
Oh, dude, they got me beat.
Yeah, that's
You gotta
rough.
go for 10, man.
I
The
don't know.
great thing about it though was it's just a guy cornering his friend and asking him a ridiculous loaded question and then watching him try to back out of it within 15 seconds. It's a beautiful idea.
It sounds
Right
good.
up your alley.
Yeah.
And so
the ambush.
at that point, thank you, Brad. Thank you, John. Thank you, Bob. Thank you,
Thank you.
Pilar. 100 episodes. I'm proud of
Congratulations,
this
man.
body of work,
Yeah,
man.
congrats.
I couldn't do it without Jessica. I would have given up had Dave from the Morning Drive with David had not thrown me into the girls' night chat when I was just there to listen. Would never have happened. So I owe a lot to David from the Morning Drive, and also Joshua Smith from Break the Cycle showed up in here, and
Mhm.
the dude is a shit stirrer and a bully in a good way on Twitter. So if you're not following him, do that. Break the Cycle.
Mhm.
And now I just have to talk about all of our boring stuff. So if y'all want to leave, you can, but I'm just going
Yeah.
to ramble for a couple minutes.
It's just sponsors and stuff. So you guys don't have to stick around for that. But
I'll
thank
be
you
in the,
all
uh,
so much for
sorry.
coming.
Yeah.
I know you're
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank y'all for having me.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good to meet all you guys, and it's good to see.
it's great to see you, Bob.
Yeah, great seeing you too, Jessica. Y'all be safe.
Well,
Yes, we'll talk to
See
y'all
ya.
next time.
bye,
And see you guys.
All right. Back to us.
Just us chickens.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to become what it did, but I'm happy it did. There were a lot of topics hit. I love when someone besides me says God is their white pill. Like that's
See,
tight.
I knew Bob 10 years ago when I was a young ne'er-do-well running around Atlanta getting hammered all the time. And I had no idea that we would meet up again 10 years from now and I would hear him talk about how God is his white pill. And I just like, that's such a hopeful, enlivening thing. Like he really gave me a hope pill, as I like to call it. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot that, well, and that's the thing. I didn't, coin white pill. That's mostly Malice. But I love that there are people that we've helped spread it. I love that there are people who see, I mean, even if you don't call yourself an agorist, if you see a chance to make your life better, especially if it goes in the way that we talked about with God, I would love people to do that. That I can't imagine having any form of peace right now in my life if it wasn't for that. And I hope other people get that.
So look, guys, if you're a big fan of those honk if you love Jesus bumper stickers, I'm going to throw you a hit the like and subscribe if you love Jesus, because we talk about him all the time on this show. So if you're a newcomer, this is your first time, you enjoyed what you heard, then, we want to see you back here for sure.
Yeah, we do a lot of off-color jokes. We do a lot of current event, deconstruction, and we do a lot of, dick jokes. But we also, I don't know if there's been an episode where I haven't thrown in Jesus at some point. So get used to it. I'm not changing.
He just gets in there. I don't know.
But
you have something new to show us, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah. The outro? Isn't it new?
Oh yeah, the outro. But before we get to that, I gotta tell people the things. We are on Rockfin. Just go to rockfin.com/themadOnes. We're on youtube.com/themadOnes. Odyssey's annoying, but if you search the Mad Ones on Odyssey, we're the first thing that comes up. We live stream in all those places. So if you want to watch it live, your best possibility of getting a comment on the screen. I didn't do it a lot today. There was a lot going on. I'm sorry if you wanted that.
We had a Brady Bunch situation going on, so yeah.
But beyond that, help us out if you want. Let's keep the lights on. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep having fun. I can't tell you how excited I am about some of the new stuff we're going to be doing, because like we've kind of hinted at, we will be doing less political things. We're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about things that come up, but that's not the sole focus anymore, because there are a lot of people talking about the same things. And there are a lot of subjects out there that are taboo or are just not talked about enough, or people are afraid of. And that's what we want to hit. We want to hit the fun stuff. We want to hit the deep stuff. We want to hit the dark stuff. October is going to be lit. I won't tell you everything's happening there.
Excited for October, you guys.
I haven't set out August and September yet, but October is locked up, and it's going to be.
But we are having Nick Ashley. We're having Shane Hazel. Who else are we having?
We're going to have Allie back to talk about postmodernism. Yes. And this time I won't be high off my ass, so I'll be able to understand and talk. And then
I might be,
no offense to those other guys, but I'm most excited about the newest one that you'll see on the list, which is Kate Sherrill from Burials and Beyond. She is a woman who has she will be finishing up her PhD literally days before we have her on. And she is an expert in cemetery studies, in death, and in stuff like that. And death is not talked about enough. And there are a lot of things that I want to say about death that I need to take my own advice for, but that I think people need to hear more about. And that is going to be so exciting to me. Get a shirt, though. I make shirts. There are two new ones. There's the one like the one I'm wearing here, our lightning one, which is just I love it. And then
it's our season 2 theme.
Like I said, Top Lobster made us this design, and it is on a shirt. wearethemadOnes.com/store. Check that out, and get some Lorenzotti coffee. Listen to OBSEC Drip. But if you go to Lorenzotti Coffee, every time you buy coffee, put the Mad Ones in the promo code, and get 10% off. It doesn't end. It's probably something they should know about, but I'm not going to tell them. Get that money off. But beyond that, I'm happy. I'm healthy. I want to show you this new outro. I'm so stoked about it because I was like, I'm going to try this new thing. Let's see if it looks cool. I like it. Is there anything you would like to share with this dear audience of ours before we go?
Now, I appreciate you guys for hanging out. I know a lot of you, like Heather and Quest, for example, you are friends of the show. You're always here. You're always supportive. Quest, I still owe you a t-shirt that is coming. I haven't mailed it yet, but it is coming. So know that, and let me know if you actually want the season 2 one or you want the yellow smoke, and I'll get that out to you as soon as possible. You guys are why we do this. So I appreciate you coming week after week to be with us. You guys are our friends.
Also, I did want to mention we do have our first Patreon supporter.
Yes.
His name is PP Steve, and I'm shouting you out. If you listen to this, I'm so stoked. I mean,
thanks, PP Steve, for keeping the lights
Steve.
on.
And with that, the only thing I have left to say is boring now, but I'm going to find another sign-off phrase at some point. I swear to God. Be the glitch you want to see in the Matrix.